Welcome to SEN Spirit's coverage of the Southwest Football League. Proudly brought to you by KFC and our great mates at Dale Alcock Home Southwest. This is the pre-game show thanks to Tyre Power. Tyres Power Power Up sale is on now, and we are at the Dunsborough playing fields for the clash between the Dunsborough Sharks and the Augusta Margaret River Hawks. A very important game for both these. The 4 points vital for the context this season. I'm Alan Crane, and next to me this afternoon we have a very, very special guest in Chase Creedy. Good afternoon, Chase.
Special would be one word, not the one that everyone would use, but Craney, great to be with you back in the Southwest Footy League. Spent some time here a few years ago, so nice to be back down and listening and seeing Dunsborough for the first time, the expansion club, so second year in. So excited to see what they've got to offer today against a reasonably experienced Augusta Margaret River and under a new coach in Gary Moss. I'm pretty excited to see how they go as well. Yeah,
we spoke to both coaches on the ball on Friday afternoon. Both of them are very excited about this game, and that 4 points, the way the ladder's sitting, I know it's only early in the season, but pretty vital.
Yeah, it certainly is. These early wins are worth a lot, and with Augusta Margaret River coming off the bye, a big win prior to that, so they'll be full of confidence. But you never, coming out of the bye, strange things do happen, and obviously last week Dunsborough found things pretty tough against Donnybrook, but lots of ins today can change their fortunes, and they're back at home where you'd think they'd be a little bit stronger as well. So both teams would be very keen to make sure they put their right foot forward and get a win on the board. And for Dunsborough even more so, they haven't beaten Augusta Margaret River yet, so they'll be looking to do that early in their history.
Look, first off, just give you a conditions report for Garage Doors Southwest, accredited B&D dealer, and I can tell you it's 22 degrees, very little wind, a bit of light cloud. Perfect conditions for footy, Chase.
Yeah, for a big boy like me, this is perfect. Early 20s, no sun in the sky. Came from Capel this morning where it was 6 degrees warmer, so it's a little bit cooler. So you can't ask for better than this. There's no excuses to not play good footy. There'll be no rain on the horizon. The deck looks pretty good, a little bit chopped up through the middle, but the weather certainly won't be a factor today. No wind to speak of.
And in the earlier games today, close one in the Colts, Chase, 7-6 apiece. It was a draw. Dunsborough 7-6-48, AMR 7-6-48. Doesn't get much closer than that.
No, it certainly does. So it bodes well for hopefully what we'll see in the main game today. The reserves, we've just seen the end of that game, and Dunsborough did a lot of attacking in the last quarter, but Augusta Margaret River in some key moments were able to put a couple of goals on the board and keep it up there and when it mattered. But Dunsborough did look pretty good and moved the ball pretty well, so hopefully that bodes well for the league game this afternoon.
And in the reserves, 6 goals 4-40 Dunsborough were defeated by AMR 6 goals 6-42, another close one.
Yeah, you can't ask, again, we can't ask for better than that. So let's hope that's what's going to come for us in the league game this afternoon as we see Augusta Margaret River out on the field. Dunsborough now going through their early warm-ups as well.
And the umpires for today's game, very important. We have them, Chase. Field umpires Kevin Hutchin, Ben Whitehill and Cameron Valenti. Boundaries are Will Francis, Nick Skoda, Jamie Harrison, and in the goals, Marty Tompkins and Damien Ciafelli. So good luck to them boys. They're always a bit nervous as well.
Yeah, they got a big job today being built up round. They'll be looking at best players and no doubt having a hand in that. But they'll be well warmed up. They did a couple of laps around the outside, so they were making us look tired. But Hutch looks in good condition, so hopefully they're not a factor today and they can get through unscathed.
There's a reason Cam and Hutch were doing that, because they thought the camera was on. Yeah, I had to let them down. No, we didn't start until just a minute ago. Just going through the Dunsborough side, Chase says there's a lot of difference from the last year's list.
Yeah, there certainly is. Patrick McGinnity, interested to see. I don't know what's happened to him, but doesn't appear on the playing sheet today. So that's a big out for them from last year. They look, going through their list, there looks like a lot of young, dynamic-looking players from different parts of the world. So it'll be interesting to see, with 8 changes coming in today, that's a lot for any team to handle, so how well they can gel early and get things going.
As you said last week, they copped a bit of a whooping from Donnybrook, but a different side in today altogether.
Yeah, it certainly has, and what I'm looking for from Dunsborough today to see is who's going to kick their goals. It looks like that they've struggled to score at times. Their leading goal kicker is Jake Green. He's got 8 goals for the year, so obviously he'll be a factor up front for them today, and we'll see how that plays out. But they're going to need to kick a score today because Augusta Margaret River have the ability to do so. Their last win in round 3 versus Eton, they've kicked 15 goals that day, so they've got the ability to put a score on the board. and that'll be something that Dunsborough will have to get under control with their defence, but they're going to have to score at the other end to be a chance today.
And the match day matchup for Secure Your Home and Business with Southern Lock and Security, the ruck duel there. Karen Yates comes from Margaret River, and Gary Moss is pretty high praise with him against the Dunsborough ruckman.
Yeah, he should be. As I just go through the list, so there's Caden Black here, who's done a pre-season with South Fremantle, so has some waffle exposure. So that'll be a key matchup. And you know, ruck duels are that they're so key to any team's fortune to be able to get first use of the ball and get it going your way. It's really hard if you don't have a ruckman that can't do that. We're finding that out where I'm coaching at the moment. But
I'll just let everyone know that too. You're assistant league coach of Subiaco in the waffle at the moment.
Yeah, doing a bit of work up there at Subiaco, enjoying that. We'd like a few more wins on the board. But interesting today for Augusta Margaret River, we've actually got a young fella in Lachlan Henderson who's needing a top-up game with our bye this week. So he's having a run around for Augusta Margaret River. So I'll be interested to see how he goes. A 2020 Colts Premiership player, 22 Reserves Premiership player, and has played some 18 games of league footy for Subiaco as well. So be interesting to see how he goes in these conditions.
Which way are you leaning, Chase? Because this is a 50-50 ball game. I said before, this, in the context of the season, only round 5, but the 4 points very valuable. Where are you heading to?
I'll probably be leaning towards the Hawks just off the back of their experience. I go through their list. You know, they've got Stevie Payne's played 150 waffle games. They've got young Max Spivey from Claremont, 27 waffle games. Henderson's playing today against, when I go through the Dunsborough list, and not that waffle experience is everything, but Simon Moore's back in. He's going to be a big factor today. And obviously, we like a bit of spice, and we might see that today playing against his old team for the first time. So interested to see how that plays out. But I think Augusta Margaret River, just with their experience, when you run through their list, could be a telling factor today, but they're coming off the bye, which can throw up different things, so we'll see how that plays out.
You just spoke of Simon Moore there, of course, a two-time Hayward medalist and premiership player with the Hawks. He's not only a great footballer, Chase, but he's good off the ground too. And Coach Daniel Wiseman said he's been absolutely magnificent with the young groups. He has been one of the pickups of the year.
Yeah, and you know, quality character, and have seen that at waffle level when he was at Subiaco. Obviously, a premiership player there. That he's a quality human, and that's what you need. You know, for anyone to come into a club and make the change like he has. You've got to have the ability, to back it up, but also give a little bit back, which we're certainly hearing that he does, you know, helping off-field as well. So really important when those people come in that they're the full package. So
you're with the Hawks this afternoon, Chase. What about a margin prediction for Bunbury Tyre and Exhaust for four-wheel drive tyres and rims? Lift kits and the whole kit and caboodle. There's a big list there, but we'll just go with Bunbury Tyre and
everything
Exhaust.
That you need to get off-road. But, you know, I think it'll be 40-plus for mine. Hopefully it's... The two earlier games are closer to the margin that we might have, because that'll make it more interesting for us. But I think it'll be, you know, 5 or 6 goals plus for mine.
Yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting one. I actually went with the Hawks as well. Daniel Wiseman, the Dunsborough coach, he would come and have a bit of a chat before the game. He's very confident with the list he goes in, and that's what you need to be as a coaching. Where do you think the coaching... the differences from waffle? You've coached at waffle level, now you've coached at Southwest Footy League level. How do you find the differences?
Obviously, it's more the availability that you get of players and the commitment levels, which, you know, at the second level to AFL is obviously a little bit higher, so it takes up a lot of time. So you get a lot more time with the players, which allows you to work on different things and really get into the nitty-gritty of making the player better and getting the results that you want to, and hopefully building them up to be, you know, really strong waffle league players, and if they don't turn out to be that, they're really good players wherever they end up. So I think just the commitment factor and guys that you know, and I've coached country footy at numerous places, so there's no chasing players on Friday night to make sure you got enough. So that's always handy to have, you know, the best available and be able to go to work with them is what I enjoy.
Players and umpires are just lining up for the belt up day ceremonies. I don't know whether that's a word for it, Chase, but that's the one we're going to get. A couple of games played last night, thanks to Geograph Civil. Eton travelled to Bustleton, and it wasn't the best trip for Eton. 19 goals, 15, 129 for Bustleton to Eton, 6 goals, 743. Big win to Bustleton. Crichton kicked 7 and Chinnery kicked 7. They got back to their very best.
Yeah, they did under new coach Matt Jamieson, who obviously is moved there in the off-season, drove past the OVS. There's a big crowd a huge crowd there, as Saturday night football at Bustleton can bring. And obviously Eton, struggling a little bit at the moment to put score on the board. Even Dunsborough had a win against them a few weeks ago as well. So a good win by Bustleton to get them, who have been a little bit indifferent to start the season. So no doubt have enjoyed that.
And I was down at this game. The Harvey Bulls hosted South Bunbury, and South Bunbury, they are looking very, very good. That's as good as I've seen a side play for a long time. They're 19 goals, 10, 124 to Harvey Bulls, 5 goals, 5, 35. Harvey did nothing wrong, Chase. It was just a sea of red and white.
I have to ask, how did the boy go? Was he all right?
Yeah, he got a couple of kicks. He's done around for a bit.
Yeah, no, looking from the outside in, you'd think South Bunbury probably the team to beat at the moment with the early season form that they've put on the board, and they've really had a couple of good years and have been building. So no doubt one of the ones that we'll be watching at the back end of the season when it gets to the nitty gritty. They
had 8 separate goal kickers, which just showed last year they relied on Coleman a little bit. They spread the load and they just run.
Yeah, and that's so important, to do well. You can't rely on too few, which, some of your teams at the bottom end of the ladder tend to do. You need to be spreading the load both on the scoreboard but also, across the board in defence and through the midfield as well. It makes life so much easier.
And a big game going on down at Brunswick Oval, HBL Bunbury. Very, very important, this one. HBL and Bunbury yet to lose a game, and both have started the season off in very good nick. Yeah,
again, I've seen a little bit of these guys as well. So obviously Bunbury put Bustleton to the sword a couple of weeks ago and look, really powerful at the moment. HBL haven't done too much wrong either. Early in this season, they've started really well and liked what I saw of Donnybrook last week.
And up at Collie, will Collie host Donnybrook? And Collie, look, they had the one run for the season. They've run into some pretty good sides. They're running into another good one this weekend.
Yeah, they are. They snuck a win a couple of weeks ago. I saw it was probably one out of the box, but Donnybrook again. Lots of experience running through their side as well, and I would think that the trip up the hill wouldn't hold too many fears for them, and I would think, judging on early form, that Donnybrook probably get the job done up there.
Players in position, I can tell you, AMR won the toss and are kicking. What are we going to call that end down there, Chase?
It's not the town end, so the town end would be to the right of your dial, I would say.
We'll call that
you used to head that way to play footy. You don't have to do that anymore. You can stay at home.
Righto, Campbell Eddy is the umpire in the middle. The players are set. Players in position. He's just making sure everything's in the right spot. Have we got a number for the Donnybrook fullback?
Lachlan Henderson, he's got the red boots on, so we'll see when he turns around, starting at fullback, which is what we expected.
Ball is in the air. This is SEN Spirit, and this is Chase Creedy.
Yeah, calling Southwest action for Dale Alcock and KFC. Dunsborough first out of the middle. They'll get it to half forward. Pack flies, and no hands off the ball. It's on the ground now. They fight in. Fire out a handball. Dunsborough find the ball again. It was probably holding the ball it was. It was great early pressure from Augusta Margaret River, who play on quickly to left half forward. Ball drops there. Pulled off the ball without the ball there was McMahon for Augusta Margaret River was the culprit. It'll go to Dunsborough, who'll get the first opportunity to find a chest and take some sting out of the game. They work the ball up to half forward to the big man here for Dunsborough. That's Party. Splits the ball back into the middle, finds a chest. Patterson for Dunsborough.
Of course, a former AMR Premiership player.
So he goes right to the hot spot, top of 50, and marking the ball there. A good saving mark was Evans for AMR. Finds a short ball. It was a little bit dinky off the ground. They have to go back and find it tackled immediately. Great pressure early on in this game. And just outside the forward 50 for Dunsborough, it will be a ball up.
You just mentioned that as a good start, isn't it? Shows the importance for both these clubs and a little bit of rivalry.
Caden Black worked his man off the ball, was able to go and find it, but it's fallen straight down and claimed straight away was the AMR player by Matt Candy. Looking forward to calling that name a little bit today.
Candy? You like that one, Chase?
Yeah, Candy and Pigeon. We'll see how we can work those in. The big men go at it. They tap it forward. It's Dunsborough doing all the attacking and winning out of the clinches, but AMR are able to go and find it. Feeds back to the player in Rogers, who gets it on the boot to half forward. Dropping the mark there was Bannister. Has to go back in and find it. Still with AMR at half forward. Coming through is the Dunsborough defender. Tries to get it out. It's now on the outer side. Bending down and then feeding back for AMR. They're going to go inside 50, short kick just inside 50 if it's got there. It's on the outer side, right half forward for AMR. First genuine opportunity inside 50, and coming out and taking the mark there is the player in. He's a long way away. It's a good vantage point here at Dunsborough. I'm enjoying that. So it's number 9, which we don't have. Hopefully number 8.
That's Will Cassidy, number 9.
Oh, it is too, yeah. Will Cassidy.
So Will Cassidy will have the first genuine shot for goal. Been a little bit scrappy early.
There's a little bit. There's not been a lot of clean, open play. This was the first real look at it with AMR, and it's Cassidy on the runway to get AMR underway today. We'll see what he's got from right half forward. Decent contact. Umpire moving away a little bit, but it looks nice and strong. So the first goal on the board for Southwest Isuzu is to AMR's Cassidy.
Yeah, they worked that pretty well, AMR. It was pretty scrappy, but there's a couple of real little short kicks that got into place. Found a little bit of space, and probably a little bit easy for Daniel Wiseman's liking the way he moved into that space.
It certainly was. A little bit lax in defence there, Dunsborough. They need to be a little bit tighter than that. The lead lanes are going to open up at times, but they're going to have to be good enough to cover in those and find a way to stop the scoring power, which we thought might be a little bit of a factor today with AMR on the board early through Cassidy. A little bit of chat at half forward. I like this. It's almost like a derby, isn't it, really? It would be.
I think as the years grow on, these are going to become fierce rivalries, not too far between them. And there's a couple of players already shifted from AMR to Dunsborough when Dunsborough took off.
Well, a lot of Dunsborough kids would have been going to AMR to play senior footy. It's back in the middle, and it's Dunsborough again. Get it out of the middle to half forward. Falling over is the forward there for Party for Dunsborough, and it bounces out through AMR. They get it to the outer wing. Good punch there from the defender for Dunsborough. Works it across the line. Crisis averted.
Yeah, pretty good defence, that Pigeon. He was in the play already, mate. You're keeping an eye on him, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll see how he goes. See if he's a mover. So Dunsborough need to get it inside 50 and hold it in there. The couple of times it's gone in, it's bounced out pretty easily. This is Videnga, moves it forward for AMR. It's still on the outer side, but Dunsborough winning the ball back. And again, a scrubby kick's turned over, and Augusta Margaret River able to cut that off.
Vandenga's been in very, very good form for the Hawks.
So this player moves it back down to right half forward. Players set themselves off hands. Still in the outer. Falling down was AMR. Straight to them again inside 50. Clears the pack. Working back players there. Free kick's been found by umpire Hutchins, and it'll go the way of Dunsborough.
Good pick up that. Just a little bit of a jumper pull on the Dunsborough defender.
So this is Dawson.
You're right, it is a long way over there, Chase.
Kicks it to the outer side. Still inside defensive 50. They're looking for the switch. Here's Scott. Scott back from where they came. So waits for him to open up. He's got a player working for him. He's probably going to get called to play on. So, that was, if that was intended, he's better than me. He has found the chest of a player.
He's going to claim it.
So they've had now 3 kicks, yet to clear defensive 50, but they've switched it to the open side. Players setting up for them. Augusta Margaret River must be said pretty well set up. Rising was that player from Dunsborough. That was Black the Ruckman. It was a great ride. Didn't bring the ball down, and it falls to ground. Stacks on, and we'll have a ball up.
Yeah, going to be a good matchup, those two ruckmen for Southern Knock and Safe.
It's left half forward. Again, the big men go at it. Reynolds for AMR and Black for Dunsborough. Gets forced across the line. It'll be a throw in.
Be interested to see how young Black goes. He had injured himself last year in surfing and then back playing footy. So good to see the young man back.
So ball thrown in. Ruckman go at it. Nice, beautiful tap down there to Spivey. The ex-Claremont player works it inside 50, tapping it on now. Found the boot there of the AMR player in McMahon. Just inside forward 50. Pressure on the ball, and it'll be a ball up. So this will be AMR's 4th or 5th inside 50.
They'd want to watch Spivey around these packs too. That was brilliantly taken.
Beautifully on the move there. He is a good player. Gets to the outside, off hands, into the hands of Cassidy again for his second goal. And that's another one for AMR on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. It's AMR 2 goals.
Great start by young Will Cassidy, 2 on the board in the opening minutes of this game. And look, Dunsborough got to find something here. They're just around them stoppages. AMR are getting getting it away a little bit easy, and I like the way that Spivey just keeps an eye on it.
Yeah, he does. That's like you say, that's 2 stoppages with great movement. The first one was with Spivey, didn't quite come off, and then the second one through Cassidy, gets to the outside. A great finish, 2 goals for him. Putting his hand up early for goal of the year, thanks to Western All Pair Services.
We had some ripper goals last week, so it's got a bit to live up to.
So Dunsborough, they've probably had the better of the centre bouncers. He rises black again off the ground into the chest of the Dunsborough player. This is Lazic. Inside 50, ball's dropped there by Chris White. Has to go back and find it. And
good tackle
under pressure. And again, AMR able to move the ball quickly out of defensive 50 to the outside. Spivey working. Doesn't get used, but they play on now. Augusta Margaret River back inside forward 50. Right half forward, carries the pack. Working back there is the Dunsborough defender. He would want to get it across the line, and he did eventually. That was Byrne. Worked back really strongly, but AMR have looked dangerous on the turnover.
Well, that's what you're looking for, isn't it? You're tackling pressure, and that's what caused that release. And as soon as you do that, they release pretty quickly, the AMR side.
It was a great tackle in defensive 50 for AMR, thanks to Bunbury Mower Service. Liked the work of the defenders there. Again off pack, and they're moving around. Some great movement here into the arms of a player working back. I would assume a winger to the outside here. It's in the arms of Fisher.
That was a nice bit of vision too. He could have wheeled and went himself, but he's seen Fisher making great space. And they're off to a very good start of the Hawks.
Their connections looked really, really good early on, Augusta Margaret River. So from left half forward, he'll be kicking from just inside 50, you would think. This would be for their 3rd goal. Kicks on its way off the left foot and never deviated. Another great goal there to Augusta Margaret River. That moves them on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard to 3 goals straight.
Yeah, they're off to a very good start. As I said, Dunsborough need to settle it down. When a side gets on a bit of a run, you need to be able to hold this and just get it back on your own terms a little bit. The ball very rarely has been travelled into the Dunsborough forward 50.
And when it has gone in there, it's probably just bounced out a little bit easier. So they've had the better of the centre bouncers, had it in there a couple of times, shallow inside 50, but not a lot of retention at the moment. So they probably need to tighten up defensively a little bit here, Dunsborough, to get a little bit more reward for effort.
Yeah, AMR moving the ball exceptionally well. Not a bad crowd in too.
Yes.
At the Dunsborough playing fields.
Where would you rather be on a Sunday afternoon than listening to the Southwest Football League, watching it online or here in person, thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC. It's back in the middle. AMR win this one to the outer side. Falls into the hands of Moore. Claim without the ball, so he's under immense pressure. So AMR turnover again. Great connection through the outer side. Handball inboard. They got some good link-up play. Back inside forward 50. Handball run receive. Shot on goal.
Gee.
And I think again... struggle to pick up who that player was for Augusta Margaret River.
We'll pick it up on the replay shortly, but the ball movement is absolutely sensational, and their vision is good, and the run, when the ball carrier looks up, he's got options to galore to go to, and it was a very well-worked goal.
Yeah, you see him work in the link-up handball and the feedback and working. I'm going to give it to Evans. It looked like a 12 to me.
We're going to go with Evans?
Yeah, I think so. Let him have it.
I thought it was Berridge, but then maybe you... Well, let's go. We'll soon get told.
18, yeah, I'll leave it open. Anyway, it's all Augusta Margaret River
half
here.
Each, 3 points each.
Dunsborough with all the work to do. Back in the middle again. 4 straight to Augusta Margaret River. You couldn't ask for a better start. The rucks, Black goes and finds it on the second effort, brought to ground straight away. So they haven't made too many changes yet, Dunsborough. They held their set in the front of the ball. They haven't brought extras up or anything yet, so they're backing their players in. Free kick's been found. It's with Augusta Margaret River again. On the burn there was the player in Fisher. Puts it inside forward 50. Spivey is alive. Dunsborough having to do all the work. Desperate defence. Fell into the arms of the Dunsborough player. Gets a kick outside 50. Heading to Moore under immense pressure straight away. It's now with Patterson. Working out of defensive 50 is Dunsborough. They've got it out of there. Good work. Working back is Moore. Off the left foot. Goes up to find White, who wheels inboard. Looks for an option. Scrubby little kick inside 50 to a player all on their own here for Dunsborough. What can he make of it? Spins on a pirouette, puts it back into the goal square. It'll come near side. So the first scoring shot there for Dunsborough through the nice little bit of play.
He had a couple of choices there. Atkinson was running in towards that goal. He had a bit of a ping for it and it ran off, but at least that was a bit of fluency from the Sharks.
The first time they'd looked different. Dangerous going inside forward 50. Nice long kick out here for AMR. Worked it to the near side, making life a little bit easier, which is much easier. Pressure's on. In there's Payne. He's got options. Looks into the middle of the ground. Again, great vision. Player there couldn't get his arms to it. Still with Augusta Margaret River. Players in help, but some good come forward there from Dunsborough, pushing the ball forward through the middle of the ground. They've won it. Long kick inside forward 50. Got some space to move here for Dunsborough for Atkinson. But again, Augusta Margaret River. Oh, great tackle there by Atkinson. Crosses the turnover. Through more. Back inside forward 50. Lovely set of blue boots.
Oh,
great defensive pressure there from Augusta Margaret River and holding the ball. That is, thanks to Bunbury Mower Service, one of the tackles of the game.
Yeah, he just took way too long there. I think he wandering in for a stroll. I think the goals dazzled him a little bit.
They did. So Stephen Payne has got the switch kick. He's worked it up to left half back for the player here from Augusta Margaret River, working by hand. Looking, surveying options. Kicks long. That player in Fisher works at half forward. He's been prolific early.
It's been very, very good early, especially around the stoppages. They need to work back on Fisher.
So Mitch Payne was able to hold the ball in, looking to do the ruck here for AMR. Yakis. Dunsborough win this one away through the hands of Patterson to the outer side. Nothing happening for them. They'll have to throw the ball in.
This is a spot they need to play for us, mate.
Yeah. Make life easy for a young bloke coming in, hasn't seen a few blokes for a while. Anyway, working off hands here through Dunsborough. It was Lazic, couldn't handle the ball, but still with Dunsborough working away from this stoppage was Velios. Gets it inboard. Again, the turnover, though, to Augusta Margaret River. Through Rogers, puts it inside 50 for AMR. Right half forward. On the outer players, go to work. And Dunsborough will be pretty happy to work this one across the line. So at the junction of 50 and the boundary line, it'll be a boundary throw in.
Good bit of strength there from the seasoned veteran in Rogers. He just shrugged that tackle and sent it forward.
Certainly did. So Dunsborough have managed to just slow things down a touch. But again, this clearance work from Augusta Margaret River comes to the fore. Great tackling pressure from Dunsborough. No free kick given. Back into the middle of the ground, working through is Atkinson, off hands. Kick to half forward. This is Henderson for AMR. Creates a good contest. Gets it to ground. They go and win the ball back. As has been the case for most of the early parts of this game. AMR worked the back into half forward, and the player who didn't even realise the ball was coming did cop one high, but the umpire said, just get on with it, mate. He's still going on about it. Simon Moore here for Dunsborough. In the middle of the ground, fights three, gets it forward, done pretty well. Work by hand. Some of this has been okay from Dunsborough. Again, the forwards haven't been able to reset, and that allows Augusta Margaret River to clear the ball to the outer side through Evans. Now at mid-wing, far side here at Dunsborough playing fields. Dunsborough still going forward. Worked his man under the ball there well was Baker. Finds it back in for it, Augusta Margaret River. Still with Dunsborough working forward. Can't get a handle on the ball. Left half forward for Dunsborough. They look inside 50. It's a genuine 1v1. See what White can do. Falls to the back. He's got a player working for him. Here's an opportunity for Dunsborough. What can they make of it? Getting around one. Now two. Don't take on too much. Gets the kick away. It falls in the hands of Augusta Margaret River. No mark given. Goes back and finds it, does the defender for AMR. Works it again to our man in Fisher, who's had a lot of the ball through the middle of the ground and in defence. And they're able to find a chest here.
I'll tell you what, Dunsborough have had their opportunities, but they've butchered it moving forward.
They really have. So it works to the big man here for Augusta Margaret River. Works forward to left half forward. Again, inside forward 50. Here's Spivey for AMR. Peels around, puts a grubber ball in. Finding the ball there is AMR. They keep working it by hand. They've been pretty good here today. Too much on that one, though. They didn't find Wrigglesworth. So he couldn't wriggle out of that one, and the ball's out of bounds.
I think Dunsborough coach Daniel Wiseman would tell them to settle down when moving forward. They're moving into good positions. It's just that skill level going into that forward 50 that's let them down.
And they probably need to just take a little bit of sting out of the game to get it back on their terms It's back inside Augusta Margaret River's forward 50, off hands. They've been good through those clearances today, both boundary throw in and ball ups. Dunsborough able to clear the ball here. Looking to search for the ball is Burgess, the ex-Swans Colts player. Get it to the outer side, does Dunsborough, and it'll be a boundary throw in. So the defence has woken up. They've had to. They had 4 on the board before they'd really settled.
Dunsborough definitely got the game back a little bit on their ground, so the way AMR took off was a bit of a worry.
So it's 4 goals straight to Augusta Margaret River. 1 point to Dunsborough on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Ball on the right half forward for Augusta Margaret River. They work the ball back inside 50, using his body really well. Was the Augusta Margaret River player.
CPR outdoor centre mark of the day, I would think. A contender.
Certainly a contender. Worked his man under the ball really well with the long ball in. 1, 2 grabs. Takes a beautiful mark, and you'd think this would be pretty elementary. And it is. Another goal to Augusta Margaret River.
And that just highlights the opportunities that Dunsborough missed. That was Ben Scott who kicked the goal. But Dunsborough had the opportunity to put a couple on the board, and then AMR went down, and they're making the most of their inside 50s.
Yeah, they certainly are. Was it Donovan?
Sorry. It was McMahon.
Number 23 for Augusta Margaret River. What's that?
You know what's confusing me, seeing Simon Moore on the Dunsborough side. I'm not used to that.
So McMahon puts another one on the board for Augusta Margaret River. They are making the most of their opportunities when it goes inside 50.
Yeah, they're more efficient with their off the boot. And Dunsborough, as I said, they've had their opportunities. They've had enough of the footy in the last probably 5 or 10 minutes to get a couple on the board. The ruck duel is a good one, though. I'm a bit impressed with that between these 2 young players.
Yeah, they're both doing their bit for their respective teams, that's for sure. Be nice if they gave the right jumper numbers, though.
It would make it a bit easier.
Anyway, we'll try and find the 21. I think it's Yakas. So back in the middle of the ground, the backup ruckman Atkinson in there for Dunsborough. Again, they get it forward. Spivey not able to find the ball there. Getting followed up. Good pressure there on Payne from Moore. Used to go to work together. Now they're working against each other. Good pressure there.
Yeah, they played a lot of very, very good games of footy together.
So at left half forward, winning the free kick there is Simon Moore. Got the better of his ex-teammate there. So he'll look to put it long inside 50. It was held up a little bit. Getting a good ride at was the Dunsborough player. And a free kick's been found. Must have been for a push in the back. So this is Party. Presented pretty well.
Within distance too, you would imagine. He'll be kicking from just about on the 50-metre line, but a pretty good kick of the footy normally.
And this is their first legitimate shot at goal for Dunsborough. They have been inside 50 a number of occasions today, but haven't been able to make them stick and get good connection. This is their first look at it. Courtesy of a free kick, but a good lead up here by Party. He'll kick from just inside forward 50. Ball's on its way. Looks like it's drifting. Falls short. Up off hands again. Augusta Margaret River having to do the work. Oh, he wanted to take it off and then was worked across the line. Thought better of it.
Probably a good choice in the end.
I would have thought so. So it's 28 points the better on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Augusta Margaret River doing all the attacking at the moment. Dunsborough have steadied the game somewhat. So this is Henderson on loan from Subiaco. Send him back next week, Mossy, please. Works the ball onto the outer side. This is Spivey. Takes a good mark.
Looked pretty classy in the little bits he's been involved with.
Certainly has. He's been on the move around stoppages. Works the ball into the middle. This is for Payne, the veteran. So it works it again to centre halfback. Through to the ruckman. Working the ball pretty well now. That ball has carried, so he's going to have to negotiate a Dunsborough player. They're able to find that through numbers. Dancing. There was the player from Augusta Margaret River. Finds an inside handball. Working up to half forward. He looked like a forward leading out, but it was the backman for Dunsborough. Great play. Able to clear here through hands to Moore for Dunsborough. Feeds it back to the defender. Again, he's going to get the 3-4. So working through the middle there is the player Ben Scott.
That's a good grab.
Kicks it inside. Called to play on. Again, this is where Dunsborough just need to take control of the game and slow things down a little bit, because they've turned the ball over again and it's working back through the middle of the ground. This is Chadwick, gets around one, forward handball, working to the outside here is the Augusta Margaret River player. Off the side of the boot, inside forward 50, players rise, off hands, falls to ground, so Dunsborough forced to go back to their defensive work. Get it to the outside, they work it across the line. Crisis averted.
As much as Dunsborough have held it up, the AMR still get that goal ahead all the time. They just keep potting them on the board.
Yeah, every time they go in there,
they look dangerous, don't they? McMahon just copped a pretty heavy one, but he's up and about, which is good for AMR.
So ball back in, off hands again. Movement here from Augusta Margaret River, but Dunsborough resolute. Work the ball to the outer side. It's a 2v1. Moore in there to help. Goes to ground. Does the Dunsborough player, and then pops out the back of the contest and off hands.
Okay, it was McMahon that had another pop shot at it.
It's the first blemish.
Yeah, 5-1's a pretty handy first quarter, isn't it? But it's been the way they've got the shots. They've got themselves set them up for easier shots at goal from their good movement down through the field.
So 29 points the better.
Now we've lost the ball in the bush down there, Chase.
I love footy.
Talking to their president, their new facilities are signed off on, so it'll be a big plus for the Dunsborough Sharks.
Certainly will be, obviously. Such a fantastic part of the world, and great to see another fledgling club coming out of this area. It's really good for football.
Yeah, and as I said, this will become a rivalry over as the years go by, and we've found the football down in the bush. No, we haven't.
They've had to find a spare one.
Somebody's just gained a good footy.
So a change of ball from the Margaret River end.
Will this help the Dunsborough Sharks, Jace?
So they've had plenty of time to set up here. You'd think late stages. We've travelled 24 minutes in this first quarter, thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC. Southwest Football League on a Sunday afternoon here at the Dunsborough playing fields. Dunsborough have worked it to right half back for them. Go to work again. Does Atkinson. Through Scott. Player working on their own here. Finding it on the second attempt was Reynolds. Again, a turnover. Working the ball back in. Augusta Margaret River. Players rise off hands. Really staying down low.
Oh, this bloke is having a beauty.
This is Fisher. Has kicked a fantastic goal. He's second for this quarter. He has been everywhere.
He has that. He is electric around them stoppages. He reads the ball exceptionally well off a pack, and he did exactly the same there. Knows where the goal is, but he's prepared to work back to it. We're watching him deep in defence, and he's pushing forward. His work rate's very good and a great start, and they just keep on keeping on those. 6-1 to 2 points. That is a big lead in the first quarter.
Certainly is. Expert comments. Alan Crane, thanks to MGIB. Like a good neighbour, MGIB is there. So Fisher has been ultra impressive today. Up forward, covering the ground through middle, getting back to help his defence. He's absolutely been everywhere.
You were a bit concerned about the Dunsborough forward line, but it's the delivery in there that's hurting him at the minute. They're making a good spot.
Not much they can do with the way it's coming in at the moment. So Atkinson wins it down. Falls into the arms of Rogers, though, so they go to right half forward again. Does AMR. Working out there is the player in Bannister. Into the arms of Spivey, goes back inside forward 50. Bannister's work forward of the ball, gets around one, kicks the ball inside 50. Dunsborough come out and meet the ball. Face on, kicks back through the middle of the ground for the player that didn't leave the stoppage initially. Doesn't pay to run all the time. Velios here gets the ball to half forward. This looks good for Dunsborough. Player in Party. Been okay up forward, puts it inside forward 50, puts it up, gives the defence of AMR a chance. It wasn't a great kick, carried the players, working back his pain in the clinches, working through the line, and they'll get a free kick. It was a hold.
He is very experienced, to Stephen Payne. He is a very good sweeper.
Knows how to find
Cleans
them.
up.
Kane Reynolds, a dual fair and bestest player from the Eyre Peninsula, now having a kick at Dunsborough, gives away the free kick.
Beautiful kick.
Finds Spivey running through the middle of the ground. By hand, Augusta Margaret River link up. Working through the middle is Evans. Gets it to right half forward. Again, not the greatest kick. Falls into the arms of the Dunsborough player who's able to work back. He's put his mate under pressure. Has to get a quick kick away. Got it right in the end. Falls into the arms there of Byrne, but again, working and finding the players. Fisher to Evans, tries to take one on, should be holding the ball just a little bit too much. I don't know if it was a tackle, but anyway, it's been paid a free kick, so working now is Moore with the ball. They really just need to take some sting out of the game here.
They really need the siren. That's what they need, so they can go back in and regroup with the Dunsborough Sharks.
27 minutes travelled. A little bit of link-up play here. Bit of kick-catch for Dunsborough. Mid-wing. Nice ball into the middle of the ground. It was to a contested situation, though, which is not ideal. Working back and finding it. Should be a free kick here. They've taken the advantage, finding the player on the open side. Kicks inside forward 50 again. Not a great kick inside 50, but it falls in at the arms of the player there for Dunsborough. That was the big ruckman in black. Has a shot on goal.
Yeah, just put enough curl on it.
So trims the margin. I shouldn't say trims to 34 points.
Marginally trims.
So Augusta Margaret River, another nice long kick out, working his player under the ball. I think it was illegal though, was McMahon. So he gives the ball back to the Dunsborough player here in green, the wingman.
Good young fellow, this is Jake Green.
So he drops one in the hole, gets through one hand. Nice handball to the outside, and then working his way through there was the player in Velios. That was great play for Dunsborough. Their first goal on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Some good play there, Craney.
It was, but it went straight through the AMR's defender's hands and landed in Velios's hands. Luck's a little bit of a fortune. You need a little bit of luck in this game, and wanted in. And that's a much-needed goal for them, just going into the quarter-time break. So they go in with a little bit of confidence. They have been outplayed in this quarter, but always a goal on the board just lifts you a little bit. It's good to see young Jake Green coming into play for Dunsborough. He's been in great form, as Jake was very good last year for him, and continued his form into this season.
It's not like they haven't had opportunity, Dunsborough. They just haven't made the most of them. So nice to get some reward for effort there late in this first quarter action here in the Southwest Football Leagues, thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC. Back in the middle of the ground, winning the ball down there was Dunsborough again. They have been good from CBD today. Through Atkinson, back inside forward 50. What can they get late in the quarter here? This will be a ball up, I reckon, right on the quarter-time siren. That will be it on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. It is Dunsborough 139 trailing AMR. A scintillating start to this game. 6 goals, 137.
Interesting start to this game. It's all before Dunsborough. The challenge has been thrown down to them. We'll be back after the break to see if they can make some inroads into this task. Where Augusta Margaret River had a fantastic first quarter. 6 goals, 137. Lead the Dunsborough Shark. 1 goal, 3-9. Thanks to KFC and our great mates, Dale Alcock Homes, Southwest. A bit of a scrappy first quarter, but then AMR moved the ball a lot better, Chase.
Yeah, they certainly did. When they got their opportunity to win the ball into open space, they linked up really well. They used the ball a little bit better. They probably made the most of every opportunity. When they went inside 50, they looked extremely dangerous through the early doors, through Cassidy, who kicked the first 2 goals of the game. Fisher late, who's been everywhere, probably for City and Regional Fuels. The peak performance so far today. Dunsborough did turn things around late after the change of ball. They did get a goal on the board, courtesy of a turnover from Augusta Margaret River. But it's not like they haven't had chances. They just haven't made the most of them. Exactly
right. The skill level just hasn't quite been up to where it needed to be. And I think their coach, Daniel Wiseman, would be at that quarter-time break. It's funny to say, just settle down. Make sure you got the footy in your hands and go and make sure that you get the little things right before you start getting too carried away with yourself. We know in modern day footy, and this is a fair sort of lead, but we know modern day footy, that's a tricky word, modern day footy, it is very easy to work your way back into games.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, it's they don't have to win the game now. They've just got to find a way to get some more connection, take some sting out of the game, use the ball a little bit better, and their opportunities will come.
Just about to start the second quarter for SEN Spirit, and this is Chase Creedy.
So back in the middle of the ground through Augusta Margaret River, player there in Yakis works the ball straight down to the sweeper, gets it to right half forward, but taking the saving mark there was Batterham for Dunsborough. So this is their first opportunity to see if they can just use the ball well. Atkinson gets a hand to that ball, works it back to the middle along with Black. Again, Augusta Margaret River have worked the ball off the back of the pack through back handball pretty well today. Working back on the ball here is Byrne and runs the ball across the line. So
Dunsborough just got to be a little bit aware about Rogers in those stoppages. He's just using that a bit of a sweeper role, and he's cleared the ball a couple.
He didn't move. He's playing football the way I used to.
He's very solid on the core.
So he's on the move here. So working the ball over for the plus hit. Spivey on the move, back through the back, keeps it.
He did that
working
cleverly.
Ball forward into the arms of the waiting Chadwick, who bends ones around the corner. And again, another early goal to Augusta Margaret River.
Yeah, look, talk about big moments, Buckingham, the Butchers. That was very, very well played by Spivey. He knew if he picked it up, he was going to be in trouble. He gave a little toe poke to allow the AMR player to pick it up and put it through. Very, very well worked. I nearly put that down for the Western All Post Services goal of the day, because just a team sort of goal.
For the play, the plus, the back hit from the ruckman, Spivey working through, as you said, into the arms there of Chadwick and gets it to work back beautifully. So Dunsborough, all the work to do here on SEN Spirit.
Not the start they would have liked. AMR continuing on their merry way.
It's all thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC. Southwest Football League action from the Dunsborough playing fields. As I said, Dunsborough, all the work to do. So Black didn't really jump into that one. So Augusta Margaret River win the first two clearances from CBD. Back inside, forward 50 again. Dunsborough having to work back on the ball. Players around the clinches, fighting hard there was the Dunsborough defender.
There's a definite setup for AMR in these centre breaks that Dunsborough need to pick up on.
Free kick's been given here. Penalised was Dawson. A little bit hard done by. I think the ball was stuck in there. And it falls into the arms of Cassidy. Kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. See what he's like here.
Well, we know he's a goal kicker. As you said, he's already got 2 for the game and very dangerous.
Couldn't have a better view of it from our vantage point here at Dunsborough. Starting from 50. You kick from about 35 out. See what he's got. Gets a bit of advice there from the Dunsborough player. Love to hear it. Nonchalant run in. Nice and easy. Fluent working back, but not enough off to the near side. 35 points the better Augusta Margaret River. Dunsborough having to clear from defence again.
And again under pressure early stages of the second quarter. A bit of pace from the big fella.
So fullback there in Dawson works the ball on the outer side here for Dunsborough, working back to find the ball into the arms of Moore, working hard as ever through the middle of the ground, using the ball not that well on that occasion. Looked okay off the boot, but in the right position was Henderson for Augusta Margaret River, the debuter today. Works it to right half forward. Mitch Payne works his opponent across the boundary line. That was Byrne. Be a boundary throw in right in front of our vantage point here. It's SEN Spirit. Southwest Football League action.
Caught up with Mitch Payne before the game. He said make a comment on his new haircut there, Chase. So looking smart.
All right, we'll make a comment. It's a haircut, all right. This is the big man in Rogers. Strong work. Dunsborough have been okay here. Worked the ball through. Tried to get around one. That'll be holding the ball. Took on a little bit too much there, the Dunsborough player.
Great pressure.
It was Betterham again. Back inside, forward 50 for Augusta Margaret River. Players rise. Spivey couldn't bring it down. Player working through there for Dunsborough's Bridgham. Claimed straight away.
And once again, Rogers just playing that sweeping role around those stoppages.
So, a ball up. Just inside forward 50 for Augusta Margaret River. Free kick's been found. It's going the way of Dunsborough. Yakis gives the ball back to Black.
They need to find some run too, the Sharks. When Black looks up, there's not a lot moving for him, so he's got to go back.
A little bit of tempo footy here. Works it on the switch to Byrne. Let's see what he's got. Got a player working for him. He's turned it over again. Made that player work extremely hard. Then Byrne has to go back in and find it. Here's Spivey. Quick hands over the top to that player who put the pressure on. Fresh airy. And there's been a free kick found. I don't know what for. He might have been tripped in the end. Maybe that's why it was a fresh airy. Player in
Bannister. It was a big swing of the leg, though, wasn't it?
It was. It was a big 5-iron. So this is Bannister for Augusta Margaret River around the body, straight across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, didn't even get close then, did he, Bannister? Normally a pretty classy footballer, but I think they might have taken the wind out of his sails just a little bit.
Not changing the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, which sees Dunsborough trailing 139 to Augusta Margaret River 7-2, 44. Dunsborough work out, gets a little bit up and under. It's just a bad kick again. It had an element of danger and fallen into the arms of Augusta Margaret River. They'll just pump it back inside forward 50. Players got hands to it. Working off the pack there was Bannister. Goes back and finds it, holding the ball.
Gee, the turnovers are hurting the Sharks.
They're just taking risks that they can't afford to take at the moment. Luckily, Augusta Margaret River not putting it on the board early doors here in the second quarter. Or the KFC today.
Yeah, Dunsborough just need to find a bit of run, don't they? Create a bit of options to create something. You're already down by a few goals. You need to open this game up a little bit.
So the player in Dawson splits it to the outer side, again to Byrne. He's got a player working for him in Batterham if he wants him, chooses him. He's got a player up further along. He's dropped the ball though. Had Baker there, putting pressure on there was the Augusta Margaret River player. On turnover finds the chest of the player in Donovan.
Gee, the stat sheet would be looking very sad for the Dunsborough Sharks in the turnover column because that was just a straight turnover again.
And bringing the ball in there, I think it was Graham actually. And another goal to Augusta Margaret River puts their lead out to now 41 points on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboards.
So that was McMahon's second for the day, and he doesn't get it much easier than that because it was just a turnover. They were a bit lucky before the Sharks. They managed to fix up the turnover, but not that one. And McMahon is too good a player to hand them to him on a plate like that. So it is a massive lead to AMR, and you just wonder how Dunsborough are going to find some answers to it.
They just have to use the ball better. I know it's easier said than done. They need to use the ball better. You've actually got to work harder when you're trying to possess the ball because you've got to make the kick a little bit easier for your teammates. So. And
even just get a bit of run past and to sort these stoppages out, it would be number one. Sometimes you don't just stand on your man at those stoppages. You might be able to come off him on a 45 just to stop that run.
Expert comments thanks to MGIB. Like a good neighbour, MGIB is there back in the middle of the ground again, but Rogers winning this one forward to right half forward. Dunsborough player works the ball forward into the arms of Wrigglesworth. He did wriggle through that one, gets it back inside forward 50. Dunsborough resolute like they've had to be, but working back on the ball again is McMahon. Splits it out wide into the arms of Wrigglesworth. See what he can do here. Working alongside Ballantyne for Dunsborough, and they both go to battle, and it's a 0-0 draw, or it'll be a ball up again.
Once again, Rogers in that sweeping position.
So Atkinson late to the party, works his player under the ball, got his hands to it, worked down to the hand for Augusta Margaret River. I don't think you can do that, son. He was pleading with... And
he was in a bit of a stuck position because they had hold of one arm and couldn't do anything with the other.
He was pleading with someone to take the ball off him, but Rogers did that. But penalised there was the player from Augusta Margaret River. So Dunsborough again, see how they use the ball here. Not great again. Off hands though for Burgess. Feeds the ball back. Gets around one. Does Reynolds. Then kicks a nice ball up. Centre wing. Here's Payne. Nice haircut, son. Works the ball forward to his brother there. Stephen Payne. A little bit more hair on that head. And again, worked out of bounds for a boundary throw in.
Once again, kicking into a contest again. They just can't find the opening, the Sharks.
So our Coach of the Year, thanks to Bank of Queensland Bunbury, Daniel Wiseman. All the work to do here for Dunsborough. He'll be scratching his head, thinking what he can do to get his team going. They've worked it to left half forward. This is with Patterson. Gets one
that's
around.
A fairly good.
Not a bad effort, but working back, taking the saving mark there was Augusta Margaret River in Henderson. Splits the ball to the outer side. So they switch and go, using the ball so much better. Up the wing to Evans.
And the ability to get players into space. And how do you get players into space? You've got to run.
It is a running game. The middle of the ground opens up for him. This is Fisher. Rogers going for a little run. You have to use him if he's going to run. He doesn't. Gets it to the outer side. Another mark. They've worked the ball well here. 5 kicks with no real risk. Just waiting for things to open up. Takes off on the burn. Goes to Centre half forward for Augusta Margaret River. Coming out to meet the ball full-chested. There was the player in Bannister.
Oh,
Kicks it straight into the back of Simon Moore, who was running away. To go and defend now, Dunsborough. Work back by hand from centre half back. Finds the chest of Patterson. Turns and go again. Turns it over to Payne. To right half forward. Finds a player all on his own in Donovan. Casper Donovan, inside forward 50. Worked his player under the board, working through the outer side. Here's the big player in George. Kicks it back into the middle of the ground. Working there is Fisher. Finds the ball. Back feed. Spivey from 50. Standing start. Gets it to the goal. Rising off hands was Augusta Margaret River. I don't know if he got first purchase to it.
I'm not quite sure he did either.
The mark's been paid in the goal square.
But the big difference there, Donovan, one grab, pick up one grab, and that's the key to it. You can't afford to fumble. Just one grab, move on.
You go back to the start of the play. Patterson, a kick inboard, misses the target, and they've 4 kicks back inside 50. And putting another goal on the board there is Bannister for Augusta Margaret River.
Rogers has headed to the Harvey Norman interchange bench for a bit of a spell because he has been very, very influential around those stoppages. Probably deserves a bit of a break.
Let him have a
Got
rest.
the replay of that goal.
It was a great kick. Puts the Dunsborough defence under immense pressure.
He's going to take that, Mark. Where to from here for Dunsborough? This is starting to get ugly on the scoreboard. 9-2-56 to 1-4-10. And they just got to find... well, you throw caution to the wind, don't you, now? I mean, you've got to hit some 45s, open up some space, throw it out in the open and see if you can create something.
46 points the better. Augusta Margaret River over the Dunsborough Sharks here. Back in the middle of the ground. Winning it down was Black. Again to Rogers, to Payne.
Didn't take long on the bench.
He hasn't used that much energy. It's for Dunsborough, though, to left half forward, into the arms here of Matt Candy.
That's better.
Kicks it inside forward 50. Working down to the bottom of that pack was Green. And that's a pretty good effort. A quick goal there, possibly for Western All Pest Services. One of the goals of the year. Certainly one of the goals of the day for Dunsborough. It's only their second.
Once again, they threw it out, moved it forward quick, give Green a bit of room to move. And if he gets a bit of room to move, he can create something like he did. And look, it just shows you how easy a game it is sometimes, Chase.
Yeah, you've just got to have some foot skills, but a couple of fortuitous goals for Dunsborough. They have made hard work of them. It's not through lack of effort.
It's not fluent.
Not through lack of effort, but lack of attention to detail early on. But they get one back there.
They need to make a bit of a start. This game's sneaking away from them at a rapid rate. Don't know whether there's too much Wiseman can do. That's coach of the Sharks just yet. You can't fix kicking errors up.
Back in the middle of the ground, Yakis rises, gets the ball forward for Payne. That's Mitch. Claimed straight away there was the Dunsborough player by Spivey. So they've advanced 25 metres. Simon Moore in there. Working it down there was Atkinson. For working his way through was Rogers. Tried to get one through. Claimed straight away there by Ballantyne for
I like the way
Dunsborough.
Rogers goes about it. He's no fuss.
Again, Atkinson works it down to Moore. Tumbling punt forward. Pitches there for Party. Having to go back and find it was the player in Matt Candy. Gets around 1, gets around 2. Here's a nice kick. Inboard, finds the chest. Quick by hand again, Dunsborough. I don't know if they needed to do it, but they keep the ball moving. To right half forward now. Player in Bridgham. Right on 50. Kick inside forward 50, leading up. Through hands there of Baker or Green. And Augusta Margaret River through Payne will do the clean-up job. Working for the player there was Henderson. Takes off, one bounce. Links up by hand. Put his player under pressure. Keeps following up, but he got his way through there was McShane.
Still going.
Gets a little kick forward and then works it to the outer side. And it will be a boundary throw in there from McShane. So had to go back and find it. Was able to do so. Some good play there out of defence there for Augusta Margaret River. So a boundary throw in on the outer side. Worked to our man Rogers. Didn't move. Standing start. Puts it to left half forward. Taking the saving mark though is Batterham. See what they can do out of defence here. Had a player working there in Lazic, didn't use him. Chose to the middle of the ground. Coming forward was Rogers. Punch from behind, did so. Off hands now. Working to the outside is Fisher. Turnover. Dunsborough having to do the work. Claimed straight away.
Just a quick around the grounds for Geograph Civil. HBL 3-3-21. They lead the Bunbury side 1-3-9.
So at left half forward for Augusta Margaret River, doing the clean-up job was Dawson for Dunsborough. Works it to the outer side into the arms of Burgess. Burgess kicks forward. Dropping the mark there was White. Goes back and finds it. Under pressure straight away from Henderson. Gets him holding the ball. He's had a good little patch here, Henderson. Had some good coaching across the years, of course. A 2020 Premiership player with Subiaco. Augusta Margaret River switch the ball to the outer side. Choose to go back through the middle. Beautiful foot skills.
And brave, courageous too. That's what you want to see your players. A bit of confidence.
Right in the heart of Dunsborough playing fields. Augusta Margaret River work it to left half forward. Pressure's good though. Dunsborough equal to it though. Offhand, some link-up play. Chasing that player down was Payne. Another holding the ball for Bunbury Mower Service. One of the tackles of the game, Stephen Payne. So reliable. Gets the ball inside 50. Not his best kick. Kicks to Byrne of Dunsborough. Does the clean-up job. Works it to the outer side. Turning it over though. Again Dunsborough off half-back. And Evans takes a saving mark.
Good grab that by Evans. So he had running with the flight of the ball. Turned around, kept his eye on it.
Back in the middle to Payne.
He's been very good.
A little bit of Matt Prittis about him with the flowing locks. Gets one back for his trouble here. So they're working the ball across. Looking for a kick inside forward 50. It wasn't the greatest kick inside though. And doing the saving job there was Ballantyne for Dunsborough. Gets it across the line. They're able to reset. So
Dunsborough have sort of pulled it up a little bit, but just AMR just keep getting that one goal.
So we've travelled nearly 18 minutes in this second quarter. On SEN Spirit at Southwest Football League action, it's the Hawks taking on the Sharks. And the Hawks doing all the attacking at the moment. So at right half forward, Atkinson wins it down, but again to Fisher, who's been prolific today. Gets the ball to the outer side. He was looking for a player working for him, but
that was clever.
It was Dunsborough who win the day. They clear defensive 50 and player takes off in Bridgham. One bounce, kick straight into the pressure that was coming forward. Turnover again on the burn here is Augusta Margaret River. Back inside forward 50. Players everywhere if they can rise to meet it. Off the back of the pack. Working back was the ruckman and free kicks being found. It is the veteran in Atkinson who has worked pretty hard today. Splits the ball outside. Finds the player in Matt Candy. So Candy works the ball outside. Defensive 50. Long kick. Working in there, Augusta Margaret River, all the numbers through Evans. Now Payne, it's 2v1. Dunsborough have equalled it up and worked the ball forward through Black. The big ruckman resting forward. Gets it to left half forward. Henderson, the clean-up job for Augusta Margaret River. To Payne, Mitch variety. Handball inside. Left half back, working back through the middle of the ground. They've had okay link-up play here. Augusta Margaret River finding the ball there was Pigeon. Into the middle of the ground. They go on the attack again. Working forward is Evans by hand. Has to get around one. Does so. Gets a handball out. Wasn't the greatest to Chadwick, who had to go back and find it. Is claimed straight away. And umpire Hutchins found a free kick. It's holding the ball. Going the way of Dunsborough. Been a good little passage for them here. They just, as we keep saying, need to use the ball. Need to use the ball better. So Matt Candy works the ball outer side to Lazic for Dunsborough. Takes a little bit of time, works up the boundary side. And
that's a bit too far, I think.
Carries the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full, left half forward. Thanks to Dale Alcock Holmes and KFC. Augusta Margaret River with the ball. Kick back into the middle of the ground. Carries over the hands there of the player in Cassidy. So Dunsborough got an opportunity here just inside forward 50, having to go back and find it. Gets a handball back, does Atkinson. Now they go inside forward 50, player on their own. Coming out to meet him was Payne. Working back is another player for Dunsborough, has a shot on goal. Henderson works back to the square, gets around one. Resolute defence puts it across the
they're doing that well, AMR. They're pushing back into that defensive unit very quickly.
Out to 41 points Augusta Margaret River work the ball to centre wing. Broadcast side, in there is Fisher. Gets around one, help comes, and they've worked it across the line. It's a try to Dunsborough.
Might if we go and get that old footy back, Chase, because both sides are struggling with this one.
That was the player in burn for Dunsborough, works it across the line. So Atkinson and Yakis to do the ruck work. Yakis works him under the ball, but working back was the Dunsborough player in Batterham. Free kick's been found. Did well enough to work.
Stretching the jump up.
A free kick out of it. So in the heart of Dunsborough playing fields, late in the second quarter, 21 minutes travelled. Dunsborough work it to Black, right half forward. Again, not the greatest kick. Throwing their bodies in there. Great play from Dunsborough. Works the ball just inside 50. It's still at right half forward. Great desperate play there from the Dunsborough player.
You can't take anything away from Dunsborough. They're working hard. It's just that little skill level that keeps letting them down there at that precise moment where it hurts.
So Augusta Margaret River survey their options, work it back in through 50. There was an element of danger, but they've turned the ball over. So Dunsborough go to work, handball forward, shot on goal. Here for Dunsborough, and they've put a late goal on the board here to slow the scoring down. That was Reynolds for Dunsborough. Puts that one through. It was pretty good play with Burgess coming through. Got the turnover, got the handball going forward into the arms of Reynolds, who makes them pay on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard.
Reward for effort, that was. Dunsborough definitely lifted over the last 5 or 10, and they had to because they were getting outplayed. And it's not pretty by any means, but it was a good goal to finish off. And once again, they keep themselves within range. I mean, 6 goals in modern day footy, it's not unsurmountable, and they're working hard.
They're able to slow down Augusta Margaret River. So Dunsborough on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboards, 3 goal 5, 23 to Augusta Margaret River, 9 goals 2, very accurate, 56.
Yeah, actually it's the key, isn't it? And they've sorted these stoppages out a little bit, have Dunsborough. Mitch Payne now in the middle.
They've actually looked really good when Atkinson's gone in the middle. Black's gone forward, but this is Rogers off that sweep position. Uses his big body, gets back inside forward 50 here for Augusta Margaret River. Nice little toe poke, a little bit of Ronaldo about that. Gets the ball up in the air and coming across. Should have been taking the saving mark was White, but they've brought it to ground, so brings Augusta Margaret River back into it. Still inside forward 50 here, late in the second quarter here. On Southwest Football League action on SEN Spirit, thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC.
Daniel Wiseman, the coach of the Sharks, throwing the Magnets around a little bit to see if he can get a bit of reaction from his team.
So a boundary throw in, left half forward for Augusta Margaret River. Atkinson working his player under it. Able to find his way through there, but pressure is on. Players working extremely hard from both sides. And there will be a ball up, left half forward. Coming through there was Yakis for Augusta Margaret River. They were less on the move there. Holding the ball has been found. Took on too much. So again, Atkinson, he's been pretty good for Dunsborough today.
He's a credit to himself, isn't he, Dan Atkinson's been around for a long time.
Goes the switch. It's going to have an element of danger about it because it was a 2v1, 3v1 even. And the 3v1 does win out. Has time to settle. It's a good-looking kick off the boot there of the Augusta Margaret River player. We don't have in our list, but it was a great kick. It was had an element of risk from Atkinson's kick. The switch across goals to a 3v1 was always going to end in disaster. Yeah,
and unfortunately that's been the story of the day, haven't they? Just had too much hang time on there. It allowed AMR to get numbers around there. If you're going to cross ground with it, you've got to allow for that hang time, and you've got to make sure the kick is right, because that's exactly what it did. Opened up the ground, and just what the Dunsborough Sharks didn't want. They've been working very hard in the last 5 or 10 minutes to sort of nullify the game back, and then AMR just kick away again.
So in the budget, that's Morgan. So until someone tells us otherwise, great goal to Morgan there for Augusta Margaret River. Back in the middle of the ground, there's been a free kick found. This is not what Dunsborough needed. If they've got one too many on the ground, it's a 666 violation. You wouldn't want to be found with one extra on the ground.
No, not when you're 6 goals behind, 7 goals behind.
So crisis averted. They get their numbers right back in the middle of the ground. Finding their way through here is the Dunsborough player in Matt Candy. Can't get through a wall of Augusta Margaret River players claimed by Yakis. So, secondary ball up. Atkinson and Yakis go at it. Moore fell over. Yakis the better. Handball outside to Spivey. Spun around once, twice, 3 times now. Should be holding the ball. Great tackle there by the player Lazic. Thanks to Bunbury Mower's service. One of the tackles of the game, inside forward 50. And a mark's fallen fortuitously, is what we would say, into the arms of Party, who has looked okay up forward today. He's been on the end of a couple.
And blood rule.
Augusta Margaret River were claiming it was touch, but umpire calls it a mark. Henderson has a go off. He's got a little bit of blood. A blood rule in. This will be
heading to the Harvey Norman bench to get a bit of a patch up.
This is crucial for Dunsborough here to get a result. Keeps them in touch. 26 minutes travelled. Second quarter action here on SEN Spirit. It's Dunsborough taking on Augusta Margaret River. Dunsborough with the shot on goal. This is Party. 35 out, directly in front. Good looking kick off the boot. And he makes it count when it matters. Dunsborough, 4 goals, 5, 29 to Augusta Margaret River, 10 goals, 2. That's on the South West Isuzu scoreboard.
Yeah, they made a bit of a move back, Dunsborough, this quarter, and when they moved the footy down and give them a bit of a chance, Party was in the right spot at the right time. It carried the 2 players in front of him, landed on his chest. I don't really think he knew he had it because he was going to play on. Umpire says, no, go back and have your shot. And he made no mistake about it. And they're well and truly in touch.
They certainly are. Augusta Margaret River have just taken their foot off the pedal just a little bit. They have done a lot of attacking today. And Dunsborough keeping them honest with the goal there. We have travelled 27 and a half minutes in this second quarter, so closing in on half-time here at Dunsborough. Working off hands from Atkinson to Moore, straight through the middle of the ground. Consecutive goals would be really important for Dunsborough. Back inside forward 50, off hands for Black, to the outside to the same player. Again, works one around his body. It was Reynolds that time. Straight off the pack, and back-to-back goals for Dunsborough. Very important closing in on half-time.
That's the Simon Moore we used of. Straight out the pack, beautiful tap, read it well, thumped it long into the forward line as we watch it on the replay, and good pack in the air, well read, good handball feed out, and Dunsborough, as you said, back-to-back goals, and stranger things have happened.
He had to kick the goal because he did have Party over the top, so if he had missed the goal, he may have got some feedback that he otherwise didn't want.
I don't mind that, though. If you think you can kick the goal, you have a crack at it.
So Dunsborough, 5 goals, 5, 35. Augusta Margaret River, 10 goals, 2, 62. 27 points the difference. Back in the middle of the ground, able to work out through Yakis. He picked the ball up and then found space. Gets through. Coming through is Rogers. Gets it to the outside into the arms here of the Augusta Margaret River player. Works it to right half forward. Wrigglesworth, just inside forward 50. Finds the nice lead up. Great little kick. Into the arms here of McMahon. Kicked a couple today. Gets it to the hot spot, about 30 metres out. Players rise off Atkinson's hands for Dunsborough. Going in to find it was the Augusta Margaret River player. He didn't have the ball. He was holding the ball, in fact. So Dunsborough resolute in defence on that occasion.
They don't want to lose one early. They work very hard to get back into the contest.
Don't want to get one up here. Let's see if their foot skills are up to it. That is not the best looking kick. Players come to meet it. Off hands through Lazic to the outside. Dinky little kick. Didn't have to be. That player took the ball on. It should be holding the ball. And right on half time, I think umpire Hutchins was pretty happy that the boundary sang as we see Dunsborough 5 goals, 5, 35, a little bit resurgent towards the back half of that quarter to Augusta Margaret River, 10 goals, 2, 62, 27 points the difference on the South West Isuzu scoreboard.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was starting to get very ugly for Dunsborough, but they worked their way back into this game, albeit they've still got a fairly solid hill to climb. And we'll be back after the break for the Hungry Hollow halftime chat. Welcome back to the Dunsborough playing fields, where we see Augusta Margaret River with a very handy lead, 10 goals 2 to 5 goals 5 for the Dunsborough Sharks. And they worked their way back into that a little bit, Chase, but the skill level, probably both sides a little bit, let them down in that quarter.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, Augusta Margaret River looked the better when they won the ball, but I wouldn't say it's at a high skill level this game at the moment. The pressure's been really good, and credit to both teams. They've certainly been in there fighting, but the skill level has been a little bit subpar at times. But, Dunsborough have just turned the ball over at some key stages and really poor areas of the ground, and that's allowed Augusta Margaret River to make them pay at times, where they've been a little bit more effective going inside 50. But it was nice to see Dunsborough kick a couple of goals late to keep the game alive.
I don't think you can take anything away from the work rate of both sides. Both sides are working very hard. It's just those little things that break the momentum, because when you turn the ball over like that, when it's an easy turnover, everybody's run forward of the play waiting to set up. You turn it over, it just creates too much of an open space back in your defence.
Yeah, if you look at some of the big moments, Feed Your Family with Buckingham, the Butchers, that, like I say, it's not so much the turnovers, it's where they're happening for Dunsborough that's putting them under immense pressure. And any time they do get the opportunity to win the ball and move the ball forward, the turnover's killing them because they're actually too far forward of the ball to impact on the defensive side. We saw with Atkinson, who's been a real workhorse for Dunsborough today, wins a free kick in the back line, looks to switch across goal to a 1v3 and puts them straight back under pressure and gives up a goal when they could least afford to. So there's been some key moments in the game where they've done that and made the wrong decision. So no doubt Daniel Wiseman's in there talking to them about slowing the game down, making sure that they're swivelling their head and looking for opportunities, working for each other to make those opportunities a little bit easier and make those open up.
Kicking those couple of goals in a row would give them a little bit of positivity going into that third quarter. They haven't played well, and they'd be admitting that in that first half, but it's not insurmountable. The lead, AMR have got a very handy lead, but it's doable, isn't it?
It certainly is. They've, you look through some of their best players. Atkinson through the middle of the ground's been really influential. Moore, we saw late. He's had a quiet day by his standard, but he's had some really good moments. So no doubt he'll come into the game more in the second half. He didn't play last week, so yeah, we might forgive him for that. Party's a really good target for them up forward. He's looked dangerous when they've got the ball into his area. He's marked a couple, created a couple, and got to good spots. And they've still got Green, who's working his way into the game too. So they've certainly got some options up there to be able to kick a score if they can use the ball a little bit better going inside 50 and generally across the ground.
They have it that, and they are playing into the Augusta Margaret River defensive unit's hands a little bit by that delivery into that forward line. AMR, on the other hand, they look very good in the first quarter. I've seen them a couple of times this year. They're not too bad. They're very good when they use the ball properly, but even in the latter part of that quarter, they were starting to just missed targets as well. Yeah,
they certainly were. They looked to tire a little bit late, so it'd be interesting to see how they recover after half time. They're coming off the bye last week, and the bye does throw up different things. As I've said, Dunsborough should be reasonably match fit, but with so many changes, we don't know whether. So we'll see how that plays out in the second half. They've been extremely effective. 10 goals too. You can't ask for much better than that. So Payne's been really influential coming off half back, feeding on for that turnover that Dunsborough's put his way. Spivey, Fisher's outstanding, and Rogers been really influential through the middle of the ground. And then they've had a pretty even spread of goal kickers. Cassidy's kicked a couple, McMahon's kicked a couple, Fisher's kicked a couple. So they've had great opportunity when they've gone inside forward 50. They've found both off movement and through marked ball opportunities to kick goal, and at 10 goals too, they've made them stick.
And there's not a lot of difference between the scoring shots for both these sides. Very interested to see what happens in the second half. We'll be back after the break. Thanks to Hungry Hollow. We'll see you shortly. Thanks to the Hungry Hollow Beach Bar and Grill. It's a great spot to have a bit of a feed and overlook the ocean and have a nice cordial or two. We see AMR 10 goals 2 to Dunsborough 5 goals 5 chase. Dunsborough, a bit of work to do to get back into this contest.
Yeah, as both teams come back out on the oval and run through their warm-ups for this second half, yeah, they do have the work to do, but they should take heart from the last couple of goals. Got the scoreboard back looking somewhat respectable, but they've got a big job ahead of them here to maintain the flow and see if they can continue to put Augusta Margaret River under pressure.
Just running through the goal kickers for AMR. Fisher, he's been very, very good all day. He's got 2. McMahon's got 2. Cassidy's got 2. Morgan's 1. Bannister 1. Chadwick 1. And Evans 1. So a nice little spread of goal kickers there for Augusta Margaret River. And for Dunsborough, Reynolds has 2. Party has 1. Valalis has 1. And Jake Green has 1. So nice spread of goal kickers for AMR.
Yeah, it certainly is. Around the grounds for Geograph Civil, geographcivil.com.au. I've got a score here. The Waffle was taking on the SANFL in state footy today. And although we went in thinking that it would be a good day for the Waffle, it certainly wasn't. 5 goals, 16-46, getting touched up by the Crow Eaters. 16 goals, 13, 109. That game finished a little while ago at Optus Stadium.
Gee, that's a big loss for the Waffle. I was listening to that on the radio, and the SANFL had quite a few out. Just around the grounds at the other ones, Collie Eagles 1-1-7. They lead the Donnybrook Football Club 2 points. That's the first quarter. And HBL 5 goals, 3-33. Lead Bunbury 1 goal, 5-11. We haven't got an update on that one, but when it comes through, we'll give it through to you. A couple of good games going on around the other tracks.
It certainly is. It's the halftime thanks to the Hollow Beach Bar. The Hollow Beach Bar, Bunbury's iconic sunset venue, as players look to head back into position to start their second half on SEN Spirit, thanks to Dale Alcock Home Southwest, proudly supporting the South West Football League and KFC. Grab a win with your favourite from KFC.
Yeah, look, the players, they should be revved up. I mean, I don't think they'd all be happy with that first half of footy. I reckon there's a bit of an upside to both the sides, and that's what the coaches would have got across. Dunsborough still with a glint of hope in the game, even though they're trailing by a bit.
Certainly is. So players go back to position. Rogers to his favoured position in the middle of the ground. It'll be Yakis taking on Atkinson.
We're looking for a rising star for Hemp Brothers, so umpire Hutchison holds the ball aloft. This is SEN Spirit, and Chase Creedy will take it away.
Harvey Fisher might be putting his name up for that one, and it's straight to him then by hand to Spivey, out of the middle. Augusta Margaret River straight back into attack, into right half forward, off hands there. Player in Bannister, kick around his body to the hot spot. Working back is the Dunsborough player, but a great mark's been taken. No, not given. In the goal square here for Augusta Margaret River. Stacks on, and it'll be a ball up. I thought it was a mark.
So that must have been very close to McMahon. But you need to be switched on right from that ball go, and AMR were then. Dunsborough caught napping a little bit.
It certainly was. Fisher, Spivey in the middle, half forward.
That's better.
Working their way out now is Green. Works to the player to the outer side. This is Moore for Dunsborough. Kick inboard to the player in Byrne. This has been some of their best ball movement so far today. Splits the ball out wide, finds a player who takes off straight away, then works it by hand into the middle of the ground. He's got pressure, so he gets around one. Does Scott, gets it to the outside, finds a player all on his own right in front of us. This is Green. Inside forward 50, but working back and taking a mark there was Evans. Off hands, not taken. Had to go back in and find it. Works the ball out just outside forward 50 here for Dunsborough. Backfeed handball was a little bit hot from Murdoch. Into the arms of Green, to the outside now. Kicks inside forward 50 again. Working in, finding the ball on his chest was Augusta Margaret River. And they're able to take the sting out of this one. Works it out to Rogers. He's at left half back for Augusta Margaret River. Surveys his options. Decides the long route. Works it to the wing. Working is Atkinson. Sort of punch. Went for the mark. Working it through there was Byrne by hand. This is back with Dunsborough going inside forward 50. Good player out on the lead there. Couldn't take the mark. Works it through hands, through the packet, over the top. Player all on his own here for Dunsborough. Works around one and works it inside forward 50. That was Reynolds again. Lux of fortune. Ball fell out the back there. But Jake Green's been prolific early off this wing, Green.
He is a terrific young club. We talked about the rising star for Hemp Brothers. He is definitely one of them. People think he's a bit older than what he is, but he is a very, very classy footballer. They worked hard for that, didn't they, Dunsborough? And they just kept on keeping on, and I think that's what they need to do. Kane Reynolds, 3 for the afternoon. It's a pretty handy effort.
And what was pleasing, it was nearly a mark in the goal square, and they were able to work the ball out reasonably cleanly, get some repeat entries inside their forward half. And it's back to 21 points on the South West Isuzu scoreboard. Dunsborough 6 goals, 5-41 to Augusta Margaret River, 10 goals, 2-62. Yet to open their account in the second half.
Keeping it intriguing, aren't they? Just need to tidy up around these stoppages, Dunsborough.
It's expert comments, Alan Crane on SEN Spirit, thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour. MGIB is there, back in the middle of the ground. Simon Moore toe pokes this one forward, but the clean-up job through Rogers for Augusta Margaret River. Works the ball out wide. Pitches the wrong way, so lands in the arms of Lazic. He's been okay today. Goes back and finds it off Spivey. He'll be done holding the ball. Pleads his case, but they move the ball quickly here, Dunsborough, through half forward into Reynolds, who tried to work his player under the ball.
Good grab that.
So Jack Byrne just had a little bit too much on the kick. Augusta Margaret River work the ball up. It wasn't 15, so Payne has to give it back. This is good pressure here from Dunsborough. Got them under the pump. Payne works back. Great smother there from Dunsborough. They're up for the fight. That was Chris White. What a fantastic peak performance thanks to City and Regional Fuels. We've seen Augusta Margaret River on numerous occasions work the ball cleanly from there, Alan Crane, so nice to see Dunsborough respond.
Yeah, and you like to see that. That's lifting, isn't it? Chris White just threw himself at the foot of Payne there and created a stoppage.
Was pretty happy with it. So
he was very happy with it.
This is Payne, works the ball back to Evans. Scrubby kick out through the middle of the ground. Finding some space there was the player in Morgan. For Augusta Margaret River, gets around one, now two, splits the ball outside, finds McDonald, gets it a little bit further afield, into the arms of Chadwick. They're working the ball well by hand. Great pressure there from Dunsborough, the player in Matt Candy.
Whoa.
He just sold him a little bit, put him into next week. It's Dunsborough on the burn, on the turnover, back through the middle of the ground, through the Dunsborough playing fields, but turned over again. Payne, a little bit of quick footwork, but it didn't come off. Now to the outer side with Dunsborough. Playing forward, they got three players forward, and a player all on his own was that player, Chris White. So good things happen to good people. They kick the ball forward, and they find Reynolds a little bit closer to goal. So, again, an opportunity for Dunsborough, and if they kick this one, they would have kicked the last 4 goals of the game.
Yeah, and absolutely. This game has definitely heated up thanks to Hearthhouse. Feeling cold, go to Hearthhouse. But this definitely got a bit of a spring in the step coming into this third quarter.
Certainly has. So Reynolds, for his next opportunity, kicks the ball inside forward 50 and makes them pay on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Reynolds puts another one on the board.
And the Sharks are circling under Chase. They've come out breathing fire. AMR looked very, very quick in the first minute, but since then AMR just upped the ante a little bit in this game and started to throw a bit of a challenge back to the Augusta Margaret River Footy Club.
Suddenly back to 15 points. Dunsborough 7 goals, 547 to Augusta Margaret River 10 goals, 262. And Dunsborough doing all the attacking in this third quarter on SEN Spirit at Southwest Football League action. Thanks to Dale Alcock Homes and KFC.
Dunsborough responded nicely, and that's what you'd expect.
Yeah, you certainly would. That's really lit a fire under this game. So what have AMR now got? We haven't asked that question too many times today. Again, Dunsborough out of the middle. Payne having to go to work with Reynolds, who's kicked 4 for the day. At right half forward here for Dunsborough. Good strong work, but again, getting played in Dunsborough's half at the moment.
That's a good matchup, that, for Southern Lock and Security.
So Atkinson drops in here on Yakis. Finds the ball down. Moore under pressure straight away. Holds that ball in. They'll throw it up again. So absorbing the pressure there of Dunsborough's AMR. Repeat stoppage. Working back is Spivey. Through there is Moore hanging around.
You can see in the AMR players, they know they're being challenged.
Yeah, Rogers ever present around stoppage today. 7v7. Lazic versus Rogers. Claimed straight away there was Matt Candy. Gets the ball forward, so they try and keep the ball moving. Augusta Margaret River win the ball out. Gets worked off the ball. It's now with Spivey, who takes off. Clean set of heels. He's under the pump from Candy, but gets a kick away to right half forward now. Great punch from the Dunsborough defender. Goes back and follows up. It seems like there's been a little bit going on through the middle of the ground, and it's going to be a down the ground free kick. So,
well, you've got to hold your discipline, don't you?
Especially when you're challenging. So Lazic lets Augusta Margaret River off the hook. It's now with the player in Bannister. Right half forward, finds a little kick over the top. Is Chadwick, just right on 50 at right half forward for Augusta Margaret River. He'd take his best kick from here. You would think he would look to pass off. Feigns for the shot. Sends a long ball on its way. It's going to fall short. Falls into the square. Atkinson up for Augusta Margaret River. But a mark's been taken here. So Atkinson did get a ride, didn't get hands to it, and the mark was taken by the player who stayed on the ground. And that is Bannister.
It was a good grab, that very strong set of hands, and that's that little bit of discipline. Dunsborough away on the other side, and you just give AMR a little bit of a sniff, and they took it. Bannister, of course, been around for a good while, a very, very good footballer.
You'd think this would be a soda for him. He does make the goal umpire work a little bit, but Augusta Margaret River do peg one back just to give themselves a little bit more breathing room. It's Dunsborough 7 goals, 547 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Still trailing Augusta Margaret River 11 goals, 2.
Sounds a bit silly, but AMR needed that. They needed to steady the ship. as you said, Dunsborough were coming, they were working very hard and just pushing the ball forward. And Bannister, look, he's been around for a while. That was a very good, strong set of hands in amongst some pretty good company.
It's good to see players get around Lazic. You know, he gave away the free kick. He's been pretty good for them today, Dunsborough, but just got the better of him there against Spivey. Fierce competitor.
That's another good matchup as well. There's a lot of good matchups for Southern Lock and Security around the ground this afternoon.
We've got the 5v5. They're just keeping things numerical here. I like this. So Moore versus Fisher in the middle of the ground. Just make it easy for him. Augusta Margaret River through Yakis. Go back, try and find the ball. This is our man, the Bull Rogers. Claimed straight away. Dunsborough have claimed a couple of metres. Rogers gets up a little bit worse for wear for that one. A few more numbers around the ball here for Dunsborough. Got them a little bit closer. They are able to win this one through. They work it back inside forward 50. Getting a run at the ball is Party. Brings it to ground. Player waiting down. Off hands. This is Reynolds. Pitch is awfully for him, but it comes back and find it. Steve Payne gets a kick away. Outside forward 50. Coming to find the ball there was the player in green. It didn't bounce for him. Working through here is a Dunsborough player. Great set of heels. Byrne back inside forward 50. The off hands and gets to the ground. And finding the ball is that man in Party who made the contest initially and gets the re-entry ball off the hands and through for a goal. And Dunsborough have come to life in this third quarter.
This whole game's come to life. It was a bit ho-hum, to be honest with you, in that first half, but this third quarter is definitely up the ante. Both sides throwing a fair bit at the opposition players, and Party looks all right down there.
He certainly does. So Dunsborough close in again. 8 goals, 5-53 to Augusta Margaret River. 11 goals, 2-68. They have kicked extremely well today. It's back to 15 points here at the Dunsborough playing fields. SWFL Football League action on this Sunday afternoon thanks to Dale Alcock Homes and KFC.
Just a quick around the grounds for Geograph Civil. Donnybrook, 8 goals, 5-53. Lead the Collie Eagles, 2 goals, 2. And Bunbury, 7 goals, 7-49, have hit the lead against HBL, 7-4-46.
Back in the middle of the ground, winning the ball out was Spivey. Takes off, gets to right half forward. Taking the mark there was the Dunsborough defender. Resolute in defence, was a great mark. Did have the sit on Evans. So again, an opportunity for them to control the ball. Players working through the middle of the ground, in and out of space. Takes a longer 45, lets it dangle a little bit, but works out there for Velios. Splits the ball out wider again to this player in Byrne. He was claimed without it. Free kick will go against Bannister there.
It's amazing when you start to run how space opens up for you.
So Byrne with the ball here, looking for options. Takes a short 45 into the middle of the ground. Player working for him there. In Baker. Gets it out wide. They're finding a little bit of room now, Dunsborough. So they've worked it to the outer side, mid-wing. Player takes off. This is Ben Scott. Puts the ball inside forward 50. It was all Augusta Margaret River that had the sit. Working through Ayers Moore. Industrious to the hands of Reynolds. Quick shot on goal.
It was all up, but the three of them went up and the Dunsborough stayed down. So result on the shot of goal for Dunsborough, and they're peppering.
And Reynolds, who has looked dangerous today, closes the gap to 14 points on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Augusta Margaret River under the pump here at the Dunsborough playing fields. Player looks to take a long kick out for Augusta Margaret River. Rising, taking a good mark there is Yakis. Takes off now, no one still to the mark. Get it to right half forward. Rising and meeting
grab.
Another great contender for the CPR Outdoor Mark of the Year. It was a beauty there for Dunsborough. Works it to Atkinson. Quick hands inboard. The player wasn't expecting it, so he had to go and find it. Luck's a fortune. They had the numbers. Inside forward 50 again for Augusta Margaret River. Working to the back of the pack, but Henderson, the first gamer from Subiaco, does well. Splits the ball out wide. Finds Mitch Payne. Works to his brother Steve. Back to Mitch.
I don't think Mitch really wanted that.
3v1. Throwing his body in there is Moore. That might have hurt a little bit. Doesn't matter. Gets the ball inside forward 50 and a player all on their own. It may have cost him something there, Simon Moore. His leg is a little bit sore. But a player all on their own here for Dunsborough to kick another goal.
They're actually looking on top. They warmed up thanks to Harthouse. They are definitely moving the ball better. They're running to create a bit of a space, and they're putting the pressure right back on the Augusta Margaret River Hawks.
So directly in front, 20 metres out. The
Ooh, happy
player
with
there
that.
in Burgess kicks a beautiful goal
Wow.
for Dunsborough and closes it to single figures, 8 points.
It's surreal, isn't it? We talked about the modern day game of footy, and that's what I love about it, but it's just a whole different game this third quarter. It's lifted about 3 notches from what it was in that first half, and Dunsborough are running harder. They're starting to create a bit of space. They're working harder. They're putting pressure on the Augusta Margaret River Hawks. So they're challenging the Hawks, no doubt about that.
To be honest, since about halfway through the second quarter, Augusta Margaret River have looked a little bit slow. They were working the ball so well early, but they look to have slowed down a touch, and Dunsborough have been able to make them pay on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Dunsborough 9 goals 660 to Augusta Margaret River, 11 goals 268. So 8 points in it, a cracker this Sunday afternoon. The 2 early games were close as well. Evans working his way through the middle of the ground, took on a few, was able to get a free kick. So he's been pretty good for Augusta Margaret River today. So in the middle of the Dunsborough playing fields, puts it out wide. Looks for a player here in Fisher, who's been around the place today. Certainly one of the rising star nominees, thanks to Hemp Brothers, for all your hemp-based products. This is for Augusta Margaret River. Mitch Payne working at left half forward. Dunsborough having to work out a defence. They do so. Claimed straight away by Stephen Payne up in press. They're at left half forward for Augusta Margaret River. And a free kick has been found.
In the goal square down there to Augusta Margaret River.
It's going the way of Augusta Margaret River, as Helen Crane said, deep inside their forward 50. And again, a lack of discipline costing Dunsborough, who have all the running in this third quarter.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. We were watching the ball. It was a fair way off the footy.
This is maybe Armstrong in the budget's listed as Armstrong. Puts one back on the board for Augusta Margaret River, moves them to 12 goals to 74 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Dunsborough 9 goals 660.
They needed that, the Hawks, no doubt about that. Dunsborough were coming at them all guns blazing. That's where we didn't see what happened down in the goal square. It was a hold, was it? So they clawed one back, did the AMR, and it's been a while since they managed to get a goal on. Bearing in mind they had a fairly substantial lead halfway through that second quarter.
As much as 47 points early in the second quarter. It's now back to 14. Both goals for Augusta Margaret River coming off lack of discipline from Dunsborough, who would be disappointed but have been fantastic to start this second half. Back in the middle of the ground, one down by Dunsborough again. Working the ball forward there was Matt Candy. Goes back and finds it again. Puts it back inside. Forward 50. Black puts his hands up. It's gone through 2 players. Working back on the ball is the Dunsborough player. Able to get that ball straight back through. That's White again. His second for the quarter, I think. Kicks another goal. And Dunsborough able to trim back the margin to 8 points pretty quickly.
Very, very quickly. They've sorted out the stoppage work of Dunsborough, and once you get it down the opening, it went straight through the Augusta Margaret River defender's legs, and White was on the end of it, managed to kick a pretty simple goal. But a reply like that after AMR worked very hard to get one back, it took only minutes for Dunsborough to negate it.
Not even that long. It was a matter of seconds. They've really lifted their work rate here, Dunsborough, in this second half, putting...
It's a different game of footy, isn't it?
It is completely different. We've had 2 crackers here at the Dunsborough playing fields today. The Colts was a draw. There was 2 points in it in the reserves, and this one's looking headed the same way.
That's right.
So back in the middle of the ground, one down by Yakis. Evan goes and finds the ball, was under pressure straight away. Gets it to the outer side, the wings both working, arm in arm. Dunsborough able to win the ball. Still to the outer side. Who's going to win this race? It'll be the boundary line.
Yeah, look, it's intriguing. We thought it was all one-way traffic halfway through that second quarter, but the modern game, that's why we love footy so much. It can change in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, City and Regional Fuels peak performance. It's been Dunsborough this half, been led by Simon Moore, Atkinson. The ball's on the outer side, though, with Augusta Margaret River. Evans trying to work his way through, was claimed, was able to get a handball away, and still on the move here. Augusta Margaret River back inside, was Spivey to Evans again, inside forward 50, shrugs the tackle, sets himself, Puts the ball into half forward. Working here is Spivey by hand to the player here for Augusta Margaret River. Back into the middle. This is Mitch Payne. Goes down and finds it. Back feed handball. There was no one there though. So the player had to come from further afield. This is McShane. Inside forward 50. Quick snap on goal. Looks pretty decent off the foot. Yes, the player in McDonald was getting bumped as he kicked and could put himself up there for the goal of the year thanks to Western All-Pest Services.
I've definitely put a ring around him for goal of the day contender.
Augusta Margaret River again able to establish that lead back to 14 points through the arms there of McDonald.
I love the work rate of these players all of a sudden. As I said, they probably didn't lift any great heights in that first half. It's definitely a different game of footy in this quarter. So
Dunsborough on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, 10 goals, 666 to Augusta Margaret River, 13 goals, 2. It's Southwest Football League action here on SEN Spirit, thanks to Dale Alcock Homes and KFC. Order KFC today. Be accompanying me on my trip back to Perth. We'll see what happens.
You did? Cam Robbins always grabs his KFC.
Back in the middle of the ground, one into the arms of Moore. Gets a kick away, but it falls into the arms of Mitch Payne. Looks to just slow things down a little bit. They need to do that because they've been under the pump here in this first part of this second half. Falls into the arms of Yakas at half forward. So Augusta Margaret River just with a little bit of flow for the last couple of minutes. Deep inside forward 50, working to the back of the pack there was the player from Augusta Margaret River. Nothing bounced for him though, so Dunsborough jump on the ball, able to slow it down just outside the goal square for Augusta Margaret River. We'll have a ball up. So players work off the pack here. Who can win it? It's Dunsborough. Gets away through Scott to left half back. Players have to go and find it. It's with Augusta Margaret River. Into the arms of Rogers. Back inside forward 50. Has a ping at the goals. He's got Spivey working for him, but off hands. It gets put into the point post, and it'll be a boundary throw in. Wasn't a bad ball back in by Rogers for Spivey.
He's had a very good day at the office, Rogers. He's been around a long time at the Augusta Margaret River Football Club.
So Augusta Margaret River, we've travelled 21 minutes in this third quarter. It's the Hawks taking on the Sharks. Rising there is Augusta Margaret River in the ruck. Dunsborough able to win it away. The kick straight through the middle of the ground, working off hands. Was Pardis. Falls to ground. Players fight in there at centre half back there for Dunsborough.
Dunsborough have quelled the influence of Harvey Fisher too. He started the game very, very nicely and just dropped off a little bit in this quarter.
Players work themselves. Party in the ruck there. Gets the ball down. Looking to find a way through. It is the Dunsborough defence through Byrne. Gets a kick out. This is Moore. Had to go and find it. Might have been Green. Back through the middle of the ground through Byrne to half forward. Had to go down. Beautiful pick up there by Chris White. Gets the ball further afield. Dunsborough just waits for players to find through him, and then player working through the middle of the ground. Good hard work was Burns. The quick handball to White. Flying shot on goal. Drifts away to the left-hand side. It was a pretty good effort there by White, who was involved in a lot of that play, as was Byrne.
The build-up was what we want. Oh, that's not the best kick-in you've ever seen.
It's not. So a bit of an untidy kick in there from Augusta Margaret River, who have been pretty good at that part of the game there today, putting Payne under a little bit of pressure. So it'll be a boundary throw-in just inside forward 50 for Dunsborough. 13 points the difference late in this third quarter. Dunsborough bringing the game to life with plenty of goals in this third quarter. Evans by hand to Payne to Fisher. Kicks down the line, was smothered as his kick. Rising was Black, pushes the big punch back forward. Going in to find the player at the ball there was Dunsborough through the arms of Scott. It was Bridgham, in fact. So forces the ball up. Atkinson gets worked off the ball there. But Moore in the clinches. Gets a back feed handball. Payne chopped it off. Quick kick forward. Black working here. against Chadwick. Chadwick goes and finds it to Evans. Back through the middle of the oval. Kicks a half forward. It wasn't the greatest kick, but I've got a player working for him. Gets it out the back. This player's been pretty good today. Gets one away. No free kick given. Still with Augusta Margaret River. Off the foot of Wrigglesworth.
Oh, that is going very, very nicely into the goal of the day contender. That was a great goal, Chad.
It certainly was. Wrigglesworth puts one away there. It was great play through the middle of the ground off some scrappy play, but some overlap found, some good ball through the middle of the ground. It wasn't the greatest kick in by Evans, but they were able to go to work there, the Augusta Margaret River forwards, and off the boot there of Wrigglesworth. A great goal on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, just, keeping the Dunsborough Sharks at bay, who are 10 goals, 767 to Augusta Margaret River, 14 goals, 286.
It's an intriguing game of footy, and it just thrown up more highlights in this third quarter than the full first half did. But that was a great goal by Wrigglesworth on the end of some pretty good work by Armstrong.
Certainly was. So back in the middle of the ground. This is one again through Evans for Augusta Margaret River. Back inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Good contest there. One down by the Dunsborough player who claims the ball, and he was claimed straight away. We'll have a ball up just inside forward 50. The Hawks attacking end. Travelled 24 and a half minutes. So Dunsborough would like to stop the scoring so they can go in and reassess again.
There was a good kick for touch that only landed millimetres inside the boundary.
Bank of Queensland Bunbury bringing you the coach of the year. Daniel Wiseman's done some work at half-time. Love to know what he said. Gary was now having to think a little bit more about what they're doing. Ball from the boundary throw-in is one into the arms of Bridgham. Gets a quick kick away, and it was out of bounds on the full. Stephen Payne will be the one with the ball. So he's just outside forward 50. Takes off now, play on, puts it back into the hot spot. Good kick in, players rise.
Good grab again.
And taking a good saving mark there was Atkinson, the veteran for Dunsborough, who's been outstanding today. He did give a shonky kick away earlier. This one's a little bit better. Works it to the outer side to Valios. Looks at options. Finds a player further afield. This is Scott. He's at left half back for Dunsborough. 26 minutes travelled in this third quarter. Kicks it back into the middle of the ground. Finds Black. Splits the ball out wider. They've worked the ball pretty well here to Baker. Players working on the outer, on their own. Got some overlap here too if they can make the most of it. Bridgham gets the ball forward to Reynolds. Kicked 4 goals today. Looks up, kicks it inside forward 50 to a 1v1. Falling over the back of the pack though, and having to go back and find it was Augusta Margaret River. Now through Evans, through half back to Rogers. Takes a mark and just looks to slow things down a little bit. Opportunity goes begging for Dunsborough. Could have made a little bit more of that, I think. They're able to work now on the burn. From full back is Berridge. Had the kick-in duties today. Puts a kick inside forward 50. Players rise. Can't mark it. The Dunsborough defender does really well. Keeps his feet now. He's lost them. Goes back and finds it. They need to claim him because he's taken on too much. It will be holding the ball. And that is Armstrong for Augusta Margaret River. And doesn't give the ball straight back. And it'll be a 50 going the way of Dunsborough.
That was a frustration 50 then, I think.
It'll be Byrne who's got the ball. Pigeon just getting a little bit of excrement thrown his way from the boundary. Country footy has its finest here on SEN Spirit. So Byrne works the ball to outer wing to Baker. Baker kicks the ball to half forward. It was chopped off by Mitch Payne, who gets it back now. Scrappy kick forward to half forward. How will it bounce? Bounces in front of the veteran there in Atkinson. Going back and find it. It's Stephen Payne. Been prolific today. Works the ball to Evans, who works to left half forward. But the siren for three-quarter time goes, and it finds us an intriguing match now here at the Dunsborough playing fields. It's Dunsborough, 10 goals, 767 to Augusta Margaret River, 14 goals to 86 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard.
Absolute ripper of a third quarter. The game definitely lifted a notch. We'll be back to see who can take it out in the fourth quarter. Thanks to KFC and our great mates at Dale Alcock Homes Southwest. we have a very interesting match on our hands, one that looked done and dusted at half-time, but Dunsborough were able to work their way back into the game. They are 10 goals, 7-67. They trailed Augusta Margaret River Hawks 14 goals to 86. And that game in the third quarter definitely lifted the tempo. Dunsborough threw the challenges at AMR. AMR did answer towards the end, Chase, but very intriguing.
Yeah, pretty important for Augusta Margaret River, those last couple of goals to just establish that breathing room of 19 points again on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. But Dunsborough looked an absolute different team to what they had in the first half. They were able to get some real fluency in their play, some very, very dangerous inside 50s, and they were able to capitalise on the work through Reynolds, who's had a really good day out up forward for them. Party still looks dangerous up forward. Moore's lifting in the middle, so plenty to like for Dunsborough. They've got to put another 25 minutes together here and make sure that Augusta Margaret River, who still look good on the turnover and on the burn.
Moore and is having a bit of fun in there with Rogers, of course, teammates. Here we are. We're set to go in the final quarter. This is SEN Spirit and Chase Creedy.
Yeah, for Dale Alcock Homes and KFC, we're doing it on this Sunday afternoon. Back in the middle of the ground, it's through Dunsborough, by hand to Moore, to the outer here through Ballantyne. He's rushed as he kicked, working his Atkinson, spins around. The ruckman, he looked for help, but it wasn't there. Coming in to find the ball is Reynolds. Getting down to win the ball is Augusta Margaret River. Off hands, pickpocketed by Moore to the outside. Sells a little bit of candy, then gives it to Candy. No, it's not candy. I can't use that. It's through Ballantyne. He was claimed straight away. Now with Reynolds. Come on, Candy. Get in there. Right in front of us here on the broadcast side. It'll be a ball up.
Yeah, players realise the importance of this. We said before the match, these 4 points are crucial in the context of the season.
And so is the first goal. Will be very intriguing for this match. One down here through Velios to Moore. Claimed straight away by Rogers. Back to Velios. Gets up to Moore, who just got up himself. Inside to the player in Lazic. By hand to half forward for Dunsborough. Claims straight away through Spivey. Augusta Margaret River clear the defence through the middle of the ground. Off hands. Good mark there taken by Chadwick. Spins straight away. Goes to left half forward. Great mark taken by Bannister. Some play here. All one-on-ones ahead. It was a hold. Umpire didn't see it, but the player worked him off the ball. Comes up and finds it. And this is a player in the budget as Armstrong. I hope that it is, because he's had a pretty good day. Been influential up forward. So wrong-footed his opponent. Got him on the back foot, and then a nice lead-up mark.
Done that pretty well, didn't it? Created a bit of a space for himself. How good was Simon Moore in the first opening stages for that game? I reckon he had 5 touches, but all to no avail, because AMR have worked it down the outer side, and Armstrong set for his second goal.
So directly in front. Good mark taken there. And straight over the goal umpire's hat. So first blood in the last quarter here in this great match at the Dunsborough playing field, taking on AMR. It's Dunsborough 10 goals, 7-67. Augusta Margaret River 15 goals, 2-92.
Yeah, you wonder how much petrol Dunsborough used in that third quarter. They threw an enormous amount at the Hawks, and sometimes when you're playing that catch-up footy, it gets behind you a bit. But we'll see. The challenge has been thrown by the Hawks again. See if they can respond, the Sharks.
Plenty of time left in this one. See if the Sharks can respond. Armstrong being good up forward. Spivey.
Wow,
off
that's
hands
a nice shoot.
To Evans. Back inside forward 50 on the burn. Great mark taken there. Geez, that was slick play by Augusta Margaret River.
Isn't the game easy when you can do it, take it out of the centre like that, and you've got a leading forward 100 mile an hour, and you hit him lace out?
Yeah, we'll be looking for a best on ground thanks to WA Carpet Supermarket. Spivey might be pushing for that. He's been pretty good today. Straight out of the middle to Bannister. He'll have to kick from right on 50. It'll take a very, very good effort. Arches around. It's not a great kick. It's going to fall short into the arms of Armstrong, but it was a clear push. So the day will be...
He didn't disguise that well, did he?
Saved by Byrne. Byrne's been pretty good for Dunsborough today too. Got players working for him here. He's got one near side. Chooses not to use that. He's going to go the long bomb. Dances around Armstrong. Gets it, and then goes the old forward tumble punt. Falls into the arms of Mitch Payne. Re-entry for Augusta Margaret River. It's 3v1 in the square. Working down is Armstrong in the clinches. Falls on the ball, as does the Dunsborough defence. Works to the outer side. This is now with...
Oh, he's got that.
The player in Will Cassidy who has had a day out in front of goals. This is his third or fourth goal, and it's the first 2 goals of the last quarter to Augusta Margaret River.
Yeah, we're going to put that one down as a Western All Pest Services chance for the goal of the day too. That was just an opportunistic goal, and they have lifted the ante again. And they've thrown the challenge back at the Sharks, who, as I said, they threw a lot in that third quarter. We've got to see if they've got anything left in the tank, but the ideal start for the Hawks.
Certainly is. On the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard sees Dunsborough 10-7-67 and Augusta Margaret River out to a 31-point lead at 16 goals to 98.
Well, good game going on down at down at Brunswick Oval. HBL 9-4-58. They lead the Bunbury 8-9-57. 1 point ball game.
Around the grounds there, thanks to Geograph Civil, geographcivil.com.au. Back in the middle of the ground, won by Dunsborough, courtesy of a free kick. They worked the ball to left half forward. Working under the ball there was Party. Going back and find it was Reynolds. Been influential. Spins around one, gets the ball into the middle of the ground, the forward 50, and it falls into the arms of Burgess, who has kicked a nice goal earlier today.
I like look at Reynolds. He doesn't waste the footy. He knows what to do when he gets there. He's already kicked 4, and then he's been a major player in this one.
Didn't blaze away, opened up his vision, found Burgess directly in front. He'll kick from 45 metres out, leans back on the kick. It's an absolute beauty. Goal for goal here at the Dunsborough playing fields. Dunsborough peg one back, 11 goals, 73 to Augusta Margaret River, 16 goals to 98.
You wouldn't have picked this at the start. We watched that first quarter. It was going to be a bit of a shootout. The game has just opened up after half-time, and it's been very entertaining. Both sides have run that little bit extra to create that little bit of a space, and they've found the confidence, and they started using the ball a lot better.
They certainly have. So 25 points the difference. We've travelled nearly 6 minutes in this fourth quarter, thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC. It's Southwest Football League action here on SEN Spirit. Chase Creedy and Alan Crane riding shotgun with you on this Sunday afternoon, being treated to a cracker here at the Dunsborough playing fields.
And just a quick one from up at Collie. Collie are doing it pretty tough. Donnybrook 13-7-85, Collie 2-2-14.
Around the grounds for Geograph Civil, back in the middle of the Dunsborough playing fields. Ball up is claimed straight away. It'll be a secondary ball up. So Atkinson and Yakas go at it. Yakas fights in, forward handball to Evans. Again, forward handball to the outer. Looking for Wrigglesworth. Can't get through there. Moore having to go back through. Evans, an absolute battering ram. Tries to force his way back through there, but can't do so.
He's had another good day at the office, Evans, hasn't he, for AMR on that half-back line pushing through.
We've called his name a lot. Playing in the middle at the moment, finds the ball in his arms again, gets around one, nice weighted kick inside forward 50, should be a mark taken, is a mark taken. It is the player in Armstrong taking another mark. That might be one for the CPR Outdoor Centre Mark of the Year. Taking a couple of good ones today.
Yeah, when he presents himself like that, he's a big target, he's a big lad. He took that one on his chest. It was a bit of a leap, but nice pass in. It's goal for goal here.
Certainly is. It's not what Dunsborough need, though. They need to string a few together. 25 points the difference on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. On the runway, leans back. This looks very good all the way. And Augusta Margaret River reclaim their 31-point lead here. A couple of goals to the player in Armstrong, who's been a presence up forward in this to start this last quarter. Yeah,
he timed that nicely off the boot. We're right behind that. Never looked like missing. It's great to see a drop punt sail through goal post high, isn't it?
It's been a couple at each end now. But like I said, not what Dunsborough wanted. They need to string a few together here. Back out to 31 points makes life hard.
It does, and look, they did. They threw a lot out of the Hawks in that third quarter, and I think that might have been a little bit telling. There's a lot of players out there looking a bit weary, and it has been that sort of game, hasn't it?
Certainly has. If we look across to the interchanges for both sides, thanks to Harvey Norma Furniture, Bunbury, both coaches pensive, looking at what's next. How are they going to get to the end of this game for Daniel Weinsman? How do they stop this man? Evans, who gets a free kick. He would have been pinged on the ball. He has used his body as an absolute battering ram early in this last quarter. Wins a free kick here. Out of the middle, nice, again, weighted ball inside. Falls into the arms of the Dunsborough player in Baker. There's a couple of players down. Works the ball, clears defensive 50 through Velios. Puts it outside, makes this hard work for Atkinson. Takes on by hand to the player in Reynolds. Back by hand, taking off a few metres, back into the middle of the ground. A little bit of risk about that one. Falls into the arms of Lazic, splits it to the outer side. Nice play here from Dunsborough. Into the open side of the forward 50. There was a free kick found for Burgess, who was at full stretch, and he looked to have been tunnelled just a little bit. So just inside forward 50, right half forward for Dunsborough. They need this one to stay in touch. It is a 31-point lead, so they're going to need a lot to go right from here.
Crucial kick in the contest. As you say, if they want to fight their way back in, it's a long way back from here.
So Burgess, another nice strike on the ball, falls near side. So just the minor score moves it back to an even 30 points on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Augusta Margaret River to the better of Dunsborough.
Mind you, 17 goals too. That's a great day in front of goal, isn't it, from the Hawks? Mainly due to the way the ball's come in.
Certainly has. So kicking duties here through Berridge to the outer side. Player claims straight away. It's just cleared defensive 50 just for Augusta Margaret River. Gets carried across the line. Boundary throw in. Near the junction of forward 50 and the boundary. What a sight here at the Dunsborough playing fields. Sunday afternoon football on SEN Spirit thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC. Dunsborough on the move. Worked by hand. Payne to Spivey. Further afield. Working back is the player Cassidy. By hand. Inboard. No metres gained. We'll have
they do it pretty well, the Dunsborough Football Club, don't they? They haven't got the facilities that other clubs have got just yet. They will have. But the setup's quite good.
It certainly is. Player on his haunches there is Atkinson. He's been a warhorse today, but won by Augusta Margaret River. Forward now. Got players streaming ahead of the ball, just outside forward 50. Ball in hand. Long kick. Who's got the right? Armstrong, but staying on his feet and doing the hard work is Wrigglesworth off the hands of his player in Armstrong, creating the contest. Keeping your feet still pays.
He was always in the mix there, wasn't he? He always thought it was going to come over the back to him, but he was the only man left standing, so he more or less just picked it up and waltzed into a goal, and that makes it extremely difficult for Dunsborough. Credit to the Hawks. They were challenged, and they were challenged big time, and they've come out in this last quarter, and they've put the hammer down again and said, catch me if you can, and now it seemed to be a big task for the Sharks.
Yeah, they've really... the margin's back out to 36 points. And you watch that on the replay. 3 players went to ground. The one who kept his feet was able to put it on the scoreboard, on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. That is Augusta Margaret River streaking ahead. 18 goals to 110 to Dunsborough. 11 goals, 874. 36 points the difference. And Dunsborough did close to 8 points at one stage in the third quarter. They win their centre clearance. It's now at left half forward for Dunsborough. Players fight in there. It was Reynolds. He's been good at half forward today for Dunsborough. 4 goals on the day against Pigeon, who I haven't been able to call enough. But, winning down here to Evans, who has been an absolute warhorse for Augusta Margaret River today. Falling on the ball. The umpire's going to be talked into it. So this player... Morgan. Been okay on a wing. Kicks the ball outside. Flirting with the boundary line, but finds Fisher.
Started off terrifically well with Fisher.
It was really good early. Been a little bit quieter in the second half, but still had a pretty good day. Works it into the arms of Cassidy. So Cassidy with the ball. Surveys his options. Does have plenty of one-on-ones forward, so just heads that way. Just inside forward 50. Ooh. Players fly. Bodies all on the ground. In is Evans. Around one. Handball over the top. Bannister working for. Left foot snap. Stays to the far side. Never really worked back enough.
Just around the ground thanks to Geograph Civil. There's an absolute humdinger at Brunswick Oval. HBL 9 goals 660. Lead Bunbury 8 goals to 957. Beauty, and up at Collie, Donnybrook well and truly in control there. 13-7-85. They lead the Collie Eagles 2-2-14.
So Ben Scott kicks the ball in. Works for Atkinson. Has to go back and find it. He does. Reynolds there working as well, but Fisher for Augusta Margaret River. Floats through. Finds the ball. Player standing at the top of 50. All in his own. Casper Donovan. Looks to kick inside forward.
That's a good
50.
kick.
And a nice play working back on their own was Bannister, who's also been pretty good for Augusta Margaret River.
That was great vision too. Bannister just peeled off his defending glove and gave that little bit of room. It's all right to create that room, but you need your midfielders to spot you up, and that's exactly what they did then. And Bannister had a pretty good afternoon. A lot of players have stood up, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have.
We'll probably start giving out our awards soon, Chase, as we go along the track.
We're heading straight to the AFL after this one today as Bannister for Augusta Margaret River. Pretty happy with his work there. Gets it back out to a 43-point difference on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. It is Dunsborough 11 goals, 874, trailing Augusta Margaret River 19 goals, 3, 117.
Let's give the ball's coming back. We'll give our tackle of the game thanks to the Bunbury Mowers Service and Preston Power Equipment helping you tackle the yard. And I think that goes to Chris White just down in front of us. So
yeah,
I think that was a
great
solid run and chase. Would you agree with that, Chase?
Yeah, no, he's been pretty pivotal, especially when Dunsborough are going. A couple of fantastic efforts, and that was certainly one of them.
Mind you, there's been a lot of good tackles out throughout this afternoon.
It was probably a goal-saving one. That might have actually turned things for Dunsborough at the time. They certainly played better for a patch after that. Atkinson back in the middle of the ground. It's one down by Cassidy. Kicks it to right half forward, but coming out full-chested was the Dunsborough defender in Batterham.
That's how you
Batters
take
his
it
way
on.
through. Takes the ball back through the middle of the ground. Finds a player in Burgess. That was White, actually, the man who just won the tackle of the day. Goes back and finds it, and he is tackled straight away. And it is that half forward for Dunsborough. That was good from Batterham. Straight out, full-chested. Making them pay. Looking to jump up, there was Party. I think there was a third man in, so there may have been an issue with who was in the ruck. So Augusta Margaret River with the free kick from centre half back. Working back and finding the ball there. It's Morgan. Or Dougie, as they're calling him. To Wrigglesworth. Again, not one I've been able to call enough today. Wrigglesworth over the top. Shouldn't be 15. It was.
They're getting a very short 15 just in front of us, aren't they?
To the fullback in Berridge. Surveys his options. Dunsborough folding backs. Lots of numbers back. Who's going to get the fly? It is Payne, who used his body really well.
Yeah, he'd be happy with that, Big Mitch. He's been a good player over many, many years and stood firm in a lot of company there, strong hands, and he would like nothing better than to put this one through. As we have a look at our mark of the day, thanks to CPR Outdoor for sheds, patios, decks and blinds, as we watch Mitch Payne run in and miss to the near side.
He does miss to the near side. It's 44 points the difference here at the Dunsborough playing fields.
And I think our mark of the day is Kane Dawson from
Yes.
the Dunsborough Club. Agree with that one? We went up, turned a little bit and come back, unless you've got another participant.
Took a great mark. Did Dawson earlier on today. Happy for that one. Well, Croney. So it's with Dunsborough now. Still working away here. This game's probably done and dusted for them, but still working away here through Green on that outer wing. Kicks the ball inside forward 50. Good lead back mark there by the player in Burgess. Spins, puts one straight over the top to Reynolds, to a run into open goal and gets another one back for Dunsborough. They move to 12 goals, 880. To Augusta Margaret River, 19 goals, 4, 118.
That was beautifully worked down around the outer side, and that gives Kane Reynolds 5 for the afternoon, so it's a fairly handy day out. Rising star for Hemp Brothers, Western Australia's most trusted Hemp Brothers projects. I'll let you have that one, Chris.
I think Harvey Fisher, he has gone out of it late, but influential early doors when they were looking to take the game away from Dunsborough. The way he was able to put a couple of goals on the board, showed some real pace and dash through. He was getting back and helping defence and getting through the middle of the ground. I've really liked his work, and he's been okay late as well.
Totally agree with you on that one.
So it's back in the middle of the ground here at Dunsborough. late stages of this game between the Hawks and the Sharks, and it's the Hawks winning this one out of the middle, back inside forward 50, player working there is for Augusta Margaret River, claimed. So then Dunsborough able to clear it out, but a great saving mark taken there by tackle by Mitch Payne. Pleads with the umpire, nothing given. So Dunsborough able to work it to the outer side. It's going to fall into the arms here of Henderson, who's claimed. Good enough to get around one. Gives it to Payne, still working. Gives it to his brother. They've waxed a little bit here. By hands to Augusta Margaret River. They continue to work up to half forward, but the kick's no good. Falls into the arms of Batterham, who then goes back through the middle of the ground, finds a player in Candy. Again, through the middle of the ground. Pitches in the middle. Great pick up there by the Dunsborough player. Works it along to Velios here. By hand. Out to Party, puts it inside forward 50. Burgess over the back, goes back in, fights it again. But again, Augusta Margaret River resolute in defence through Stephen Payne, up to Wrigglesworth. The clearing kick into the arms of Henderson, who can't take the mark, but is able to put the pressure on straight away.
There's some tired bodies out there. We'll head to the Western All Pest Services goal of the day.
Geez, there's been a few.
There's been a few good ones, hasn't they?
There has been.
Wrigglesworth kicked a couple of beauties.
Wrigglesworth, the snap was something to behold, so maybe he can have that one today as he fights away again here, as does Fisher.
As if on par, he's right in front of us, so he can accept his award right now.
So we'll give that one to him, thanks to Western All Pest.
Big moments for Feed Your Family with Buckingham, the Butchers. Well, the big moment was the comeback by Bustleton and the fight back by AMR.
Yeah, Dunsborough were able to close within 8 points after being down by 45. They've now got it back out to 38 points. It works to left half forward. So there has been some big moments in this game. I think you could almost go back to the smother by White. It was a pivotal moment where Augusta Margaret River were challenging. But Kane Reynolds has been a live wire for them up forward and really kept them in the game.
Absolutely. Let's give him the peak performance. Thanks to BP, keeping you on the move. City and regional fuels.
BP locations all through the southwest, keeping us fuelled. So Reynolds has been really good for Dunsborough up forward today. So we're in the closing stages. 21 minutes travelled in the South West Football League clash, brought here by Dale Orcock and KFC here on SEN Spirit.
And the one we got left is the best on ground for WA Carpet Supermarket on Macomb Road in Davenport. Well, there's quite a few players putting their hand up for that one this afternoon.
Jeez, I hope you're not going to leave that to me. There has been a number of good players. Spivey would be right up there for me. Rogers, the man who's got the footy now, has been pretty instrumental. The Payne brothers have been pretty good. Bannister. Atkinson's been a workhorse for Dunsborough.
Cassidy's been good for the AMR. Reynolds, 5 goals in a losing side. That's a pretty handy effort as well. Simon Moore's been good at times. You know, there's quite a few. But I think Spivey's been pretty good for Augusta Margaret River, especially early. His pace and his ability to get through contests has really opened the game up for them. And he's been consistent 4 quarters. I tend to agree with you there. And that reading the play off the hands of the pack has been absolutely brilliant. So we'll give it to number 3 for AMR. So Max Spivey winning our player of the day. The ball's with Mitch Payne, who's been given a 50. So outer side, the game continues on. It sort of petered out a little bit. Dunsborough started this quarter with a sniff, but Augusta Margaret River have done a really good job of closing it out, and it falls into the arms here off the boot of Payne to Bannister, pretty much from where he kicked his last goal, in fact, at right half forward, about 35 metres out on a slight angle. Heading into number 4, there's been a lead change at Brunswick Oval again. Bunbury 10-11-71 to HBL 9-8-62 at 3/4 time. Gee, there's not much in that contest. So around the grounds, thanks to Geograph Civil, geographcivil.com.au. And on the South West Isuzu scoreboard, it is Bannister putting another one through. The finishing touches on this game for Augusta Margaret River extends their lead back to 44 points.
And on the scoreboard, it looks Dunsborough 12-8-80 to Augusta Margaret River. 20 goals for. Amazing kicking, 124.
That's the sign that they say good kicking's good footy, and that's exactly what it was. But it's a lot of the way they've been set up. They've been managed to get their shots at goal from in that 45-degree sort of angle, so it's made it a bit easier. But still, to kick 20 goals for in a game of footy, that's an outstanding effort by AMR, and that's Matthew Bannister's fourth.
And we did think it would be a pivotal thing today, their scoring power. It has proven to be so. But Dunsborough, not all's lost. 12 goals, 8. It's been pretty good too from a team that kicked 2 goals last time they played. So they'll be happy with the way that's played out, although unhappy with the loss. But they did bring themselves back into the game. They work the ball here through the middle of the ground. Moore has to go and find it. Wrigglesworth fights his way back in there, claimed straight away by the Dunsborough player in Lazic. It's been okay today.
You can consider it was 10 goals to 1. You thought, gee, it's a long way back. That's exactly right. So they did well to come back, but spent a lot of energy doing that.
Yeah, Rogers again off his sweep position, hurries the ball forward. Player falls down in McDonald, or Morgan, claimed straight away, and it'll be a throw up just inside the boundary line, right half forward, you would say, for Augusta Margaret River. It's closing stages of this one. We've travelled 25 minutes. Yakis and Atkinson continue to fight. It's interesting that Black has not done a lot of ruck work, so I don't know if there's been an injury or something to him. He did start in the ruck today, but we haven't seen him much after quarter time. There may be one short on the bench.
Hope he's all right, because he's a very talented young player coming through the ranks. I said he had a pretty serious injury, surfing injury last year, so it's good to see him back out on the field.
Yeah, get the Hearth House feeling. Find smart home climate control systems, air conditioning and fireplaces in Hearth House, Bunbury and Bustleton. Looking at who's warming up, it's not going to be Black. Back into the middle of the ground here for Dunsborough through Matt Candy. Surveys his options, goes further afield. Got a player working for him. We'll see how it pitches. He's under the pump from Wrigglesworth, but able to get his way through there is Ballantyne. Off the boot here of Scott, inside forward 50. Burgess, 1 grab, 2 grab, takes the mark. So Burgess had a pretty good
he shows
second
a
half
bit,
as
doesn't
well.
he, Burgess? A good grab, and he's already kicked the 2 for the afternoon. In fact, we've had a lot of multiple goal scorers down here. It's been a bit of a goal feast, which didn't look like that in that first quarter.
The whole game's changed complexion from midway through the second quarter. This is Burgess. To add some respectability back to the scoreboard. It deserves to be closer than what it is. Leans back on the kick, but it's nice and straight. It is a beautiful kick for goals. So Burgess takes Dunsborough to 13 goals, 86. 13-8-86 to Augusta Margaret River. 20 goals, 5. That's on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard.
We did do a conditions report for the at the start, and we said it's perfect conditions for footy. Didn't look like that in the first half, but the second half has been an absolute very, very entertaining.
Certainly has. Expert comments thanks to MGIB. Like a good neighbour, MGIB is there. Alan Crane keeping you across what's happening in the game. It's been a pleasure on this Sunday afternoon, heading shortly to AFL Nation. West Coast taking on Melbourne up to Optus Stadium. Hopefully the West Coast can to put in a good effort to close out our weekend.
Do you think that's on the card, Shay?
Hope would be a good word. We'll see how they go.
Thanks to Linmark Bearing Equipment too for your support throughout the Southwest Football League season.
So back in the middle of the ground, Dunsborough able to win the ball here through Lazic to half forward. Augusta Margaret River with the clean-up job again. They've done pretty well today. They split the ball out. Dropping the mark there was the play in Morgan. Spins around 1, goes to right half forward. Back inside forward 50 for Augusta Margaret River. Clears the pack. Bannister working back. Takes some body. Going in there was Byrne and gets it across the line. So it'll be a boundary throw in just inside forward 50 in the right forward pocket for Augusta Margaret River.
Seem we're heading to the AFL shortly after this game. Thanks very much for your company this afternoon, Chase Creedy.
It's been a pleasure to be back on the airways with you, Craney. In the Southwest Football League, bringing you local football action here on SEN Spirit. Thanks to Dale Alcock and KFC. Clearing ball to Simon Moore. Looked to take one on. Got joined in by a second tackle. Probably a little bit too much against his old team. It's been a tough old day. He's been pretty good for Dunsborough, though. He can hold his head high. Free kick going the way here of McShane. Kicks the ball back inside forward 50. Where's Bannister? Through his hands. Can't take the kick. Over the back for Stephen Payne. Little toe poke up to the player in Morgan, who puts the finishing touches on this way. Pretty good, and extends that lead back out to 44 points. It's been goal for the last part on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Sees Dunsborough 13-8-86. Augusta Margaret River now 21 goals, 5. Amazing kicking, 131.
Are we going to give Stevie Payne the credit for that little toe back as it meant to be? Because it was pretty good, and he's had enough. His day is done. He's heading to the Harvey Norman interchange bench for a well-earned spell. He's been outstanding this afternoon, Stevie Payne.
Probably unlucky not to get player of the day. He's been outstanding down back and helps put the finishing touches on there. You'd be cleaning that toe poke all day long. It was pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely would.
29 minutes travelled. It has been goal for goal. We've had 8 goals, nearly 12 in the last quarter. It has turned into an absolute goal fest. So in the middle of the ground, players claim straight away that was Matt Candy.
The kicking of both sides, 13-8 and 21-5.
Here's Caden Black. He's back in the ruck now, so he made a liar out of me. Atkinson having a spell through Candy to the outer side. Player in Velios finds the ball, claims straight away, and then again the clean-up job from Augusta Margaret River. But Dunsborough resolute. They're working back now here through Matt Candy. Back to left half forward, throwing bodies in there still. Is Rogers putting the pressure on. Tackling ever so gently. Looking after each other. Late stages of this Southwest Football League game on Sunday afternoon. Still some crackers going on around the place. To left half forward for Dunsborough now. Working back on the ball here is Velios. Little toe poke forward. Out come the Dunsborough players. Working back there is McMahon. Clears the ball. Up goes Green. Can't win the ball. Back by hand. Dunsborough. Black. Kick to half forward. Here's Green. Spins. Not the greatest kick, but it might be effective in the end. No, clean bowl, all of them. Actually going to work for the defenders. No, Dunsborough able to fall back on the ball. Back by hand. Players working forward. This is Reynolds. Had a pretty good day. Picks the ball up and right on the final siren. Gets claimed straight away. And that is all she wrote here at the Dunsborough playing fields for Dale Orcock Homes and KFC. Augusta Margaret River, big winners over Dunsborough. 21 goals, 5, 131 to Dunsborough. 13 goals, 8, 86. It got out as far as 47 points. Dunsborough closed to within 8, and it ends up being a 44-point win to Augusta Margaret River. It's been an absolute pleasure as we head straight to Optus Stadium. It's West Coast taking on Melbourne here on AFL Nation.